I'm not late. I'm just dumb. That's all it is. So, welcome to Live with Jack number 71. Hi, I'm Jack. And today I'm joined by our good friend Manga, who you guys in the community already know. Probably most of them know, right? Most of them know. And today we're going to be talking to you about how to really meet high quality women in your life. But before we get into any of that, what's the first thing we have to do, Manga? He knows. So get yourself something to drink. Remind yourself. Get it ready. Lift it with me now as we join for the international, the famous, the lauded Cheers with Chats. So cheers, boys. Ah, cat piss has never tasted so delicious.
Pretty good.
So, let's. Oh, we got goodies. We got goodies coming out. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. You want to say hi? Say hi. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. So, let's jump right into the topic. How to actually meet high quality women. Now, I've talked before about the different ways to go about, goddamn mosquitoes, different ways to go about meeting women. And we've talked about online dating using the apps. We've talked about approaching, going out to bars, day game, night game, street game, subway game, library game, all of it. And the one that I very rarely touch on is social circle game. The reason I rarely touch on this is because it's the most difficult to run well, but it's also the best way to actually meet high quality women. Now, Papa Jack, you might be thinking to yourself, you always say that we should just go out and approach. You're going to meet better girls on the street, even in a bar, than you are on the dating apps. And that's absolutely true if we're comparing those two things. For example, on dating apps, you might have about, I don't know, 1 in 1,000 chance of matching with an actually good girl. It can happen. It absolutely can. But you're playing scratch offs, right? Like you're just hoping for luck there. Now, let's say you go out on the street. You have higher volume. You have better quality women than on the dating apps, but your actual rate of meeting high quality women, the kinds you want for long-term relationships, possibly even marriage, is still only about 1 in 100. Much better than the dating apps by a factor, right? However, that still means that for every 100 successful approaches, that guy's showing off. I bet he feels real cool. For every 100 successful approaches, you're probably going to meet one genuinely good woman. Still better than the apps, still worth your time, and especially if you just want to get your dick wet and hang out with cute girls, that is the best quality you can get for that type of relationship. Possibly more, possibly a short-term relationship, maybe even a semi-long-term relationship, but might not lead for the rest of your life. However, social circle is where you meet the actual best women. That's where you meet the truly high quality. Let's get over here to the audio is great today. Sosa, I'm really glad to hear that. We specifically chose this spot because there's not as much noise pollution. We're sitting outside at a little table here. It's perfect. We're not in like a loud club or anything this time. So, why is social circle game so effective for meeting the top quality women? Well, the simple fact is that in a social circle, everybody has already been vetted by their other people, by their friends, by their social group, by their family, whatever the situation is. They've already been vetted, and those people who know them well already know, okay, this guy's kind of a weirdo, but you might get along okay. Or they'll know, hey, this guy's actually really cool. Uh, you would never match them on a dating app because you wouldn't even see each other. You're probably outside of each other's filters, but y'all are really cool and you would get along really well together. That's where you actually start to meet the higher quality women. Not only that, but it's much easier to develop a high quality relationship with her because you have already been vetted too. She knows if you have been introduced to her by someone who she trusts, then she knows, okay, at least this guy is not a complete idiot, right? If he's able to have cool friends like the people I know, then he's fine. And this is one of the reasons that in Korea, blind dating is so common. Most couples have met through blind dating. Most long-term couples have met through a blind date set up by a mutual friend or family member or fellow parishioner at their church or whatever it is, whatever the social group is, they've set all that up and they trust the people who set it up. So they go in with higher expectations, showing a better version of themselves. And this is very important. This is the only place where you're going to be able to meet the girls who don't go on the apps, who don't go out to bars. An excellent example is the girl who I set up for Jake. Now, if you guys were paying attention a few weeks ago when I was running the boot camp, I said anybody who's had my private coaching or anybody who's involved in the boot camp is in the running to have a blind date with this girl who I know. She's very pretty. She's very kind. She's a great girl. I would absolutely date her myself, but can't. Already married. So I need to call in a stunt cop. Who's it gonna be? I took the guys who were available and eligible, and I made profiles for each of them and let her choose which personality type she was most interested in. She chose Jake, and now Jake gets to go on a date, or rather got to, because he already has, got to go on a date with a girl who isn't on any apps, who doesn't go out to bars, who doesn't go to clubs, who isn't out slutting around. Jake got to meet an actual high quality woman. Why? Because of the social circle. Because I've coached him personally one-on-one. So I can attest, he's not a noob. He's not an absolute asshat. He's not going to go out there and be like, so what do you do for work? Right? Like he's not going to embarrass me in front of her because I know he knows what he's doing. And I actually think the two of them make a pretty good match together.
So, what would be a high quality girl? How would you define that?
A high quality girl. So for every person, this is going to be a different assessment for what we consider high quality. Some guys would go to the far extreme and be like, she must be 18 and she must be a virgin and she must have never touched alcohol and never kissed another man. Or like, okay, like if that's the standard you want to apply, I highly recommend moving to the Middle East as soon as possible, because that might be the only place in the world where the culture actually creates that kind of situation. But if you're in a place like out here in Korea, what's a high quality woman? A high quality woman is somebody with a super low body count. She doesn't go to bars. She's patient. She's nice. She doesn't freak out and get angry over nothing. She doesn't play drama for drama's sake. She doesn't do the stupid shit that the girls from Tinder do. Right?
Yeah.
That's why she's not one of the app girls, because she is high quality. Now, she might not know that she's high quality,
right?
Which is fun, because she can be hot and not know it.
Right.
She could be awesome and not know it.
Right.
But those girls, those high quality girls, you will not meet in bars. You might meet on the street if you get really lucky, but it's hard, and you're going to have extraordinary level street game to turn a street approach with one of these girls into something more. It's possible, but difficult and rare. So this is why social circle game comes in.
Okay.
What do you think?
I mean, I've never actually gone on a date with social circle, so I really most of my experience is from the apps, and for me, I found a way to do it where you screen those most of the girls out, and you screen in the girls who are actually higher quality.
Right.
And
So what's your filtering method there? How do you do that?
well, first of all, don't use Tinder. Because that's that like girls know that as the hookup app. So
Yeah.
you're getting girls who are seeking that.
Yeah.
And that's what they want. But like if you're looking for a good girl who's gonna be loyal, she's not gonna have a high body count, she's probably not gonna use Tinder.
Yeah.
So in that sense, you should probably download a different app. I would probably say Bumble, maybe Hinge, one of those apps.
I like the idea that Tinder requires Facebook to be on it. Also, Tinder is the Facebook of dating apps.
Yeah.
Right? It's
Yeah.
the one that like you definitely don't want to be caught using.
Yeah. So I did find out a way. So back when I was living in Canada, I realized that if you swipe too much, you actually run out of girls. You completely deplete the dating pool in your city. And that might sound scary, but that opened up an entirely different door that I didn't actually know existed. And I caught the girls who were just trying the app for the first time.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
So those are girls who I go on the date and I would ask, so how's the Bumble experience been, or how's online dating been? And they're like, well, actually, this is my first time trying it.
Yeah.
Totally different girl. A lot of girls this day and age have tried the app once or twice,
Yeah.
and a lot of girls get turned off by it and they don't use it again.
Yeah, of course.
So I think those are the high quality girls, and those are the girls who will maybe go on one or two dates and that's it. So if you actually go through all the girls in your city and you're just getting the new joiners and you're matching with them and you're going on dates with those girls, they're totally different. These aren't the girls with high body counts or not going on tons of dates. When you talk to them, they're usually like extremely nervous before the date. They have to work up courage to actually go on the date with you. And I mean, my last girlfriend, that fit her pretty well. I was like the first Bumble date she went on, or I think the second one actually. So it's the second Bumble date she went on, and hadn't been with a ton of guys, totally loyal, nice personality, like was not trying to like fuck me over or test me at all.
Yeah.
So that girl was one of those girls who I caught her right when she joined, or right quickly after she joined. She went on one other date, and then we had a date, and then one date led to two, led to three, led to 40, or whatever. So that's the way. You actually clear through as many girls as possible. You just get the newcomers.
That is an interesting strategy. Now, I'm not certain you can do that in Seoul.
Really? Why?
I mean, aren't you limited on your swipes and stuff? The last time I used dating apps, this is how long it's been. The last time I used dating apps, there was no limit on swipes. And even then, I wasn't able to clear through the entire pool.
Yeah,
and I was living out in the middle of nowhere. So
there is a hack. I wouldn't actually, if you could do it, it might lead to too many matches. It was something I tried in Tokyo, just because I was curious about it.
Sure.
So I downloaded Bumble. I got a premium version for 1 week. I think it was like $20. And I downloaded a program that automatically swipes for you.
Sure.
And I left it on overnight.
Yeah.
I ended up getting, I think, 900 matches from that experience. But that was sufficient to clear through the population. So,
all right, I see. So
yeah.
Just using like a macro or a program to
actually do that.
actually do that, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know. I would hesitate to recommend that because
I don't think that's practical.
yeah, I don't think it's practical, but also like now you've got 900 matches and you might get what like 20 new girls in a day. Of those, you get one or two matches, right?
Okay.
And so yeah, Coot's giggling at 900 matches.
Yeah.
And so now you're down to maybe one or two who you actually like a day. You might not even match with them.
Yeah, it slows
or you
down
can
a
swipe
lot.
on all 20
Yeah.
of them, right?
Yeah.
Like, but I don't know. That is an interesting strategy, especially if you're tired of banging the Tinder sluts.
Mhm.
And you're like, wait, I only want to get people who are new on it.
Right.
That could be a strategy. I still think you're better off joining or creating a social circle. So let's talk about how one could go about doing that thing. So the first thing you need to do is you need to figure out what kind of social circle do I want to join, or what kinds am I willing to join, and then see where that overlaps with the types of girls you're interested in.
Okay.
Right. So say you're interested in attention whores, and if you have even a passing interest in photography, then a local photography club or a local like take the best selfie version of you class or something is where you're going to find these attention whore girls because that's where the interests overlap, right? So you find like hobby group, or you find some kind of social group, or maybe there's just a photography club that meets up once a week and it's like some free thing. It's not structured or anything. Cool. You go there, and instead of immediately just like zooming in on the girls and being like, "Hey, I'm Brandon. Nice to meet you. What's your name? Oh, nice to meet you." Yeah, right. Like,
Yeah.
instead of that, you jump in and you start talking with the organizers. You start talking with the people who come there often,
Uh-huh.
and you ingratiate yourself there. Do the things you can to help out. If they need a volunteer to stay after and help clean up, or they need somebody to, oh, listen, we're out of ice, and we still have some more cocktails to make. Can anybody run down to the shop and grab some more ice? Yeah, I'll grab some ice. Sure. Do that a couple of times. You're just kind of doing a couple of favors, ingratiating yourself so that they're like, oh, we like this guy. He's nice. He's cool. He's not here just for pussy. Because whenever a single guy shows up to social circles, he's always suspect at the beginning.
Okay.
He has to prove himself a bit. This may sound like too much work. This may sound like a pain in the ass to you, but it pays dividends if you're looking for a high quality woman. That's the only reason to do this. The only reason to do this is if you're actually trying to find a woman to date long term, where you're just looking for a really good girl. Maybe you're just absolutely terrified of STDs or something, and you're like, nope, I only want to deal with the best quality woman. Okay, cool. This is how you do it.
Mm.
You ingratiate yourself as part of the group, and then you're still talking to people. You're still being sociable. You're chatting with the girls, but you're chatting with the guys just as much.
So how do you find out which girls are single
Oh,
in those groups? And what if there's not a whole lot of girls in that particular group?
well, if you show up, well, first of all, choose your groups correctly. Because
Okay.
if you're thinking to yourself, right, the hobby group I want to join is my local D&D one-shot group, then like,
Yeah.
okay, well, you're not going to find many girls there.
Right.
You might have fun. You'll have a lot of Cheetos and Mountain Dew, but you're not going to find many girls there. So be selective on that.
Okay.
Think about what types of things these types of girls would join. Artsy stuff. It's going to have a higher concentration of women than other things, and more science, or like, again, with like, if you want to join your local debate club, like that's going to be mostly dudes.
Right.
Toastmasters is going to be mostly people 40 and over.
Right.
Right. And so like,
Right.
choose the correct group for who you're trying to meet. But if you show up to the photography club, or to the dance class, or to the spin class, or to whatever, and it's just a sausage fest, then cool. Stay there, hang out for the day, have fun, because this is important. It is something that you want to do as well,
Mhm.
that you at least have a passing interest in,
Mhm.
right?
Okay.
So stay there, have fun, enjoy it. My man, Coot, you're reading my mind. The kitchen club. You know what? A cooking club or like a cooking class, great idea. A great idea. But anyway, stay there, have fun, and then you just ask, like, again, follow the same protocols before. Make friends with the people, and then if one of the guys there is pretty cool, just be like, by the way, is this club always just all dudes? Because like it's fine if it is, but you know, also, is it just all dudes, right? And you know, if it's a cool dude, not some fucking narc, then he'll be like, no, actually, like today's a weird day. Usually, it's we have like maybe 40% women who come, or he'll be like, yeah, man, it's all dudes here. I don't know what to tell you, but we have a lot of fun. We do the things, and then you just decide for yourself: do I want to keep coming here or not? And if your main goal is to meet women, you just don't go back. You do the research again, and you find a different club, because all of this is testing hypotheses, right? None of this is a guarantee. It's all about maximizing your possible chances.
So what about language exchanges?
Language exchanges are excellent, especially if you are in a big enough city to have a strong international population. So if you're in Seoul, language exchanges, fucking beautiful. Now, the problem with some of the bigger language exchanges is that guys go there to meet women, and so you're super suspect when you show up there as a single dude. You need to show up and you need to be friendly with everybody, and you need to be running like excellent social game, not sexy game, not romantic game, excellent social game. Because here in the social circle, your capital is your social competence. It's not about like, oh, how sexy can I be? How much can I turn you on? Oh, let me tell you a dirty joke. Your capital here is social competence.
Okay.
Because so many fucking awkward weirdos go to these things to try and meet people, whether that's to meet girls, to meet boys, to meet friends, whatever. Socially awkward people go to these things.
Okay.
If you can be socially competent, you already stand out head and shoulders above the others.
Okay.
So get a feel for what your group is. Understand if it's like the kitchen club, like Coop's saying, well, that's something nobody's going to, right? Like that's a rare thing. But if it's a language exchange that regularly hosts 50 people, dudes have figured it out by now, right? If it's on couch surfing, if it's on meetup, things like that, dudes have figured it out because dudes are thirsty. And dudes will go any place where they think they have a reasonable, maybe possibly chance of getting pussy. It's the only reason that dudes go to nightclubs and buy bottles and stuff like that. It's because they think, well, if I do this, I might get some pussy.
Yeah.
So yeah, get a feel for the club, for the social dynamic there, whatever it is. Yeah.
What would you tell a guy? So he's trying to find a girl who to date, but he also knows he's supposed to be, friendly and social. So at what point does he go from, hey, I'm not just talking to you as a friend, I want to...
You don't. At least not there.
Okay.
Right? What I would do in that situation is I would go in, let's say that I show up so for this argument's sake, let's use the language exchange.
Okay.
Right? And I show up there, there's 40 to 50 people there. We all hang out. The time at the place is like 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay. Again, I'm pulling things out. This is not a real thing.
Okay.
But 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. and then I show up 6:30. I'm making the rounds. I'm going to the different tables. I'm trying different languages. I'm showing off what I do know as not show offy as possible, right? And I'm going around. For me, I'm doing the Spanish table. I'm doing the Korean table. I might show up at the French table and make a couple of bad jokes in French and then be like, no, really, my French is awful. Can you please teach me something cool?
Right.
Teach me something cool that I can remember for the next language exchange so that I can have another bad joke or whatever, right?
Right.
Just playing social games.
Okay.
I'm doing that. until about 8:45. 8:45 comes around. Everything's starting to wind down.
Okay.
And now each of the tables knows me, at least knows me a bit, and knows that I'm socially competent.
Okay.
I'm going around to each of the tables, and I'm like, hey, by the way, after we finish here in about 15 minutes, a group of us are going over to Corner Pub for a drink after. If y'all want to come, it would be awesome to have you. I'd love for you to join. And you know what? It'll be a great time. Just keep this thing going on, probably until about last train or so.
Okay.
So come on over, join us for a drink, and just toss out a net. And then, now what's just happened is the ones who are interested in you at all, or the ones who want to party or anything like that, are going to come to the next event out at the pub. But now you've gone from being a participant in the event to being the leader of the event. Your social status is just tripled easily because everybody knows you're socially competent. He invited everybody, so he must be friends with everybody, even though it's your first time there. It doesn't matter.
Right.
They don't know that.
Right.
And you go around, you do that, you run this thing, and then if one person shows up, great. You have fun with them. Even if it's a dude, just be like, cool, let's hang out, right?
Yeah.
We're gonna have a drink and hang out. If a group of people show up, great. Awesome. Now have you guys all met each other before? You're running this like an event organizer.
Okay.
And now your social capital is through the roof.
Okay.
From there, you can start chatting, flirting. Then you just go into basic bar game. But now you've brought the high quality women to the place where you are most comfortable, your home bar, right? Where you already know the situation, the bartenders know you, you have high social status there. Plus you've created the event, so you have even higher social status.
Okay.
That's exactly how I would go about it
Okay.
right now.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Oh, let's see here. Restaurant, kitchen. What does that say? Restaurant, kitchen humor is quite dirty. Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. If you guys have ever worked in a restaurant, you know that back of the house is where all the weird shit happens. That's absolutely true. Hey, how do you say that?
I'm not French. I'm gonna offend Coot if I try and
Do it. I'm Texan.
Change de langue.
Oh, okay. Cool, yeah.
Sorry, Coot. I'm so sorry.
We do it for you, buddy. We do it for
I'm
you.
so sorry.
See, I would have said like
I haven't spoken French. In
French I feel like
Canadian.
if you speak French, you have to put on an accent like you have a dick in your mouth the whole time. That's the only way anyone's gonna understand.
Right.
That it's French.
Right. Yeah. They teach that at French school, actually. Yeah.
Or if you just speak English but you're waving a white flag the whole time, they're like, wow, your French is perfect.
Yeah.
And this is why I don't get invited back to the language exchanges. Okay, cool. So, now, all right, there we go. Now we're both in it. So the next question would be, and I want to get your thoughts on this.
Okay.
Let's say you go to the language exchange. It's 50 people. It's 50-50.
Uh-huh.
So 25 guys, 25 girls.
Right.
How do you identify which of these girls are actually good girls and which ones are like foreigner lovers and which ones are just there to bang and which ones are
For me,
yeah. So for you, how would you go about that?
the shy girl is probably okay. The one who is still talking to you, but isn't totally confident in talking to you.
Yeah.
You know, she's not used to talking to a guy like this.
Yeah.
Even though you're just having a normal conversation. The girl who's like totally the social butterfly. Yeah, I mean, if she's going to language exchanges, she's probably met other guys.
Yeah.
I would assume that anyway.
Yeah, that would be my guess as well, would be a girl who everybody knows,
Yeah.
a girl who people know. Whenever she walks in, they're like, "Oh, hey, Tara, it's nice to see you. How have you been? You know,
Yeah.
it's been a couple of weeks. Where were you last week? Something like that." And
Right.
you're like, oh, "Okay, Tara comes here every week.
Right.
Tara's getting reeled out by a different foreigner every week,
Right.
So, and like, there's nothing wrong with that. You can also meet foreigner lovers at the language exchange, and you can just, take them to the bar after and rail them out. It's fine.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But shy girls going to group meetups, yes, they do if the group is correctly focused.
Mhm.
So language exchanges, shy girls will go to that. Book clubs, shy girls will go to that. If it's like a Bible study group, you're gonna find shy girls there, absolutely. So group meetings, yes, but the right group meetings. I think that definitely choosing the right playground is very important to finding these high quality women.
Mm.
I agree with you as well that looking for the girls who seem not exactly uncomfortable, but like they aren't sure what to do. Maybe they seem a little bit awkward, or they seem like, so how does this work? Do we just speak Korean for 30 minutes and then English for 30 minutes? Or like, how do we, right? Like, that's kind of the vibe that you're looking for.
Right. Yeah.
And by the way, that's actually the first thing that Lady North said to me on our first date.
Oh, really?
When we met up, because she thought it was a language exchange, because we met off Meet.
Yeah.
And so she thought it was a language exchange. And I was like, and I answered her in Korean. I was like, actually, I don't care. If you want to speak Korean the whole time, if you want to do an hour, I don't mind. I can speak Korean or English. We can go however you want with this.
Mm.
Yeah, Coot. Flustered. Flustered is maybe a little too strong a word. Like, just a little awkward. They aren't comfortable with a heavy male presence in their life. And if, in my hypothetical, it's 50% men and 50% women, there are a lot of girls, especially here in Korea, who went to all girls elementary schools, all girls middle schools, all girls high schools, all girls university, and literally are not used to being around groups of men that are not family.
Mm.
So she goes to the language exchange, and all of a sudden, she's got the Indian guy and the Dutch guy and the American guy and the Canadian guy all coming over and being like, "Hey, it's so nice to meet you. What's your name?" Right?
Right.
And so she's probably a little deer in the headlights, just like, I don't know what the fuck's happening. So yeah, that's one of the ways that inexperienced. She seems inexperienced because experience is directly correlated to how much naughty shit she's done in her life. So yeah, I think inexperienced, and you can tell that, you can feel that when you're talking to someone. If they don't know what's going on, or if they need to ask, like, are we allowed to say bad words here? Like there's some weird shit like that.
Yeah.
So you should be able to suss it out, and this is especially true if you've been following through with the 14 types method, if you've been following through with the foundation document that you guys learned in the Girlfriend Accelerator, where you know what type you're looking for, you know what traits you're looking for in a girl. You're looking for the girl who best matches what you said you wanted. You're not looking for just someone. So since you've already decided, I want to meet this type of girl for this type of relationship who possesses these types of traits, it becomes very easy.
I'll let you finish your point.
That was the point. You're good.
I'm kind of curious what you think is how many girls you have to go on a date before you meet a really solid long-term relationship quality type of girl based off of where you get them from.
Oh, okay, okay. I see what you're saying.
Like, you know,
No,
like one out of 25.
I understand.
Like, you know, 1 out of 300
Um,
if you do it this way, or
I guess from well, so here's the thing: is I'm looking at two factors here. I'm looking at one that she is a good, high quality woman, and that also she is a good match for you. Because there are plenty of high quality women
totally. Yeah.
who are not a good match for me, or not a good match for
Got
you,
it.
right? So if we're looking for that overlap,
Right.
right, then social circle, I'd say probably 1 in 5, roughly.
1 out of 5 dates.
1 out of 5 dates.
Yeah. Not girls, but dates.
Not girls, but dates.
Yeah.
Freaking mosquitoes, man. They love us here. So yeah, probably 1 out of 5 dates from social circle. And now I would also count the the post group meetup and hangout. If you're talking with her one on one, y'all are having drinks together, you're having
That
conversations.
counts.
I would count that.
Wow. Okay. That's
I would
pretty
count
high.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it is because you're filtering so well. Yeah, he did. He's not going easy on me here. No song falls, but that's okay. That's okay. That's what we're here for. From street or day game, I'd say probably about 1 in 15-ish.
Interesting.
I'd
Okay.
say probably you'd need more than 10 dates, but fewer than 20. So in that general range of
Okay.
10 to 20, probably.
Okay.
Night game, bars, nighttime street, things like that. Now we're looking at like it might be the same as day and street game depending on how strict your filters are. But if you start putting on beer goggles quickly, then it might be higher. It might be
Right.
closer to 1 in 30. If you're talking about dating apps and like actual dating apps, so Tinder, Bumble, Hinge,
Right.
OkCupid, Plenty of Fish, whatever.
Right.
Then now we're looking closer to about 1 in 50 or more dates
Really? Okay.
to actually meet somebody who you actively want to keep them around for a long time, not just like repeat business, right? Like an actual long-term relationship type girl who you really like, who really likes you, and you guys are a good match. Yeah, I'd say probably 1 in 50 or more, again, depending on how strong your filters are. The reason that it's hard to give this any sort of a clear answer is because it depends on what kind of girl you're looking for, depends on where you are in your life, right? Because 26-year-old me met and dated several girls who I could have and should have married if I were in the right place at the time, but I wasn't,
Right.
right? And
Yeah,
so like it really depends on a ton of factors. But if I'm going to give it an overall estimate, that's about where I'd say it. 1 in 5 for social circle, 1 in 10 to 20 for day game, night game. Night game, maybe 15 to 25, closer to 30 if you get drunk a lot. Apps, 1 in 50. Now, somewhere in between day game and dating apps would be your Meeps, your Hello Talks, your like apps that function as dating apps but are not designed as dating apps.
Right. Okay.
God, there are so many of them. After we finish the stream and we finish this stuff, let's just fucking move anywhere else.
Okay. I think you're more bothered if
You're in pants and long sleeve shirts. I'm getting eaten, right?
I guess it's true.
Yeah. So anyway, that's the who, that's the where, that's the how to meet high quality women. Is there anything that I'm missing, Brandon, or do you have any more questions?
No, I think just to add to that, I I think when guys get into dating, a lot of the content is about just getting better at your dates, getting laid, and how to be more confident. But this part is sort of like, at least to me, it's like the end goal thing you should know.
Yeah.
It really is.
Mosquitoes are after my blood. The mosquitoes are trying to get drunk. They know where the party is. It was right here, man.
They're smart. They go into the bottle. So actually, for me, I was dating a Korean in Canada.
Yeah.
And I think that could be a whole nother topic, like which country produces the best quality girls, really. But I was dating a Korean in Canada, and I really wanted to go to Korea. She didn't want to, ironically enough.
Yeah.
And the thing that really made me change my mind, that made me think, no, I should actually go, was that I started to talk to my friends about this subject. And the question I asked you is, what do you think is the ratio? Because if you're still new to this, what can happen is that you find one really good girl who's much better than all the others.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think, oh my God, she's the one. She's like, then you get one-itis. And then you think like, she's the best girl I can find, and I need to like make this work with her.
Yeah.
But the benefit of being in communities and knowing other people who are good is that you can ask them, because they're a little bit farther ahead of you, this sort of question. So I asked my friends who are really good, who basically just like, how long do you think it takes to find like a girl who's worth marrying? Not that I'm necessarily looking for marriage, but like, if I was to break it off with this girl who I think is worth marrying, and go and do what I want, how long is it going to take me to get back to this place? And they gave different answers, but the end story was that it was very doable.
Yeah, of course.
It was very doable, but I didn't think it was doable. But until they started like breaking it down, it's like, well, maybe like 1 out of 25, 1 out of 50.
Yeah.
I don't know. But like, once they started telling me that, I felt okay to have more freedom to make my own decisions in life.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think that a lot of guys do get trapped in that mindset of, I don't know if I can ever find another girl as good as her.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, is that if you go your whole life and, oh, Jesus, they just reached down and rubbed my leg and got mosquito guts all over me. Fuck, they're everywhere. Anyway, if you go your whole life and you date consistently and never get married, at some point in your life, you will have dated the best girl that you will ever be able to date. Here's the problem. You won't ever know when that ends. Right? You'll literally never know. It's like trying to buy a stock at the bottom and sell it at the top. You don't know where the bottom and top is until after it's already happened, right? However, if you see that prices are low, it might not be the bottom, but it's still the right time to buy. Does that make sense? And so the same thing with girls, where it's like, I'm not looking for a perfect. I'm looking for a girl who matches the criteria that I wrote down. She's this type of girl looking for this type of relationship. She possesses these traits that are very important to me. Those things are the most important to me. So, is there somebody out there who would also love me just as much as her and possesses 2 more traits? Possibly, but so what?
Right.
So you eventually, you need to know that there's always another girl, because everybody's replaceable, but also at the same time, you know that, right, when it's time for me, whenever I'm ready personally, and then I meet a girl who fits all the criteria, good, we're done, right? Time to hang up your spurs. And so like, when I met Lady North, I was ready. I was ready to hang up my spurs there, right? And like, she's fucking awesome, right? Like, you guys who have met her, she's awesome. She lets me live my life the way that I want. She doesn't bitch and moan about the things that I do. Uh, she understands all of it. Whenever I come home at like 1, 2 a.m. and I've been drinking, she's like, "Oh, okay, cool. Welcome home." Right? Like,
Yeah.
did you have fun?
Yeah.
Right? And like, okay, cool. This is all perfect. Now, is it possible there is a better girl out there? Possible. But am I willing to take that bet? Not at this point in my life.
Yeah.
When I'm 26, absolutely.
Yeah, totally. And I think people kind of go for girlfriends the same way they do for jobs. They have an idea of what they like, but really they have a good enough point.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, absolutely.
once they find a girl who's at that good enough point and they're ready, they usually stick with that girl.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and we would be kidding ourselves if we didn't also acknowledge the fact that like Lady North fucking settled for me. You know, like you get what I mean, right? Like I do bring a lot to the table. I'm very fun, I'm very entertaining. She's never bored when I'm around.
Yeah.
She gets to have an exciting life. We get to travel around a bunch, we get to do all sorts of cool stuff.
Mm.
But also, right, like, is there a better guy out there for her? Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And so like that's kind of the as non-romantic as this is, it's kind of like the you'll do. And she's like, you'll do too.
Right.
Like we're like, yeah, this is it's good enough. Right? Which sounds so
bad,
right? To say it. And it sounds so like anti-romantic, and it sounds so like, oh well, you're just settling. You could do better. You need to aim higher. And it's like, no. That's not what long-term relationships actually are.
Yeah.
That's not how it actually works. It's like, okay, would I love a girl who had all the things that she has, plus also has huge tits?
Right.
Right. Like,
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
But like, so what? Right.
Yeah.
And so the same thing for her. Like, would she like a guy who's as fun, as energetic, as exciting as me, and also is home by 10 p.m. every night, or also makes $10 million a year, or whatever, right? Like, of course, right? And so, like, it's all just no. We can work with this, right?
Yeah.
That's the reality of actual high quality relationship,
Right?
Because it's not a fucking Ryan Gosling movie. It's not a Disney movie. It's not any of that stuff. Let me look through the comments real quick. Let's see here. Sometimes scientists say your third partner is optimal using game theory. Okay. Right. I mean, like, I don't know if that's true or false, but do you want to play the average and just be like, right, well, this girl's horrid, but she's the third partner, so clearly, right? Like, no. Like, you know who you're dating, you know who you are, you know where you are in your life, you know what you're looking for. Like, just because some girl happened to be drunk at Thursday party on a night when you were both horny, and then you get her home, y'all bang it out, and then you wake up the next morning and you're like, all right, number 3, it's time, right? Like that's not.
Yeah.
I get where you're coming from, Coot, but it doesn't really matter. Also, that number is assuming the average guy. And nobody who's watching this stream is average, because you're literally seeking out ways to be able to date better, which 99% of men don't do, and 95% of men don't do. So throw averages out the window. That doesn't matter at all. It takes time to replace them. It does. It can take time, but if you know who you're looking for and you plot out a proper strategy, like I teach you how to do in the Girlfriend Accelerator, if you've learned about the types from the 14 types method, then, and if you're just in the community and talking to us and you're following along, like, the hard part is finding the girl, because that does take an element of luck. However, if you know what you're doing, you are able to minimize that luck and maximize your chances, your odds of finding that type of girl. If you have no idea and you're just fucking stumbling through life, waiting for Princess Perfect to just fall out of the sky and land in your lap, you might be waiting 20 years before somebody's like, fine, I guess, right? Like, and then you end up settling even more anyway. So does it take time? Yeah, just like everything in the world does, right? Like, it's going to take me time to replace this beer. Not too long, but I know some faster and some longer ways to make that happen. If I just sit here and wait for the lady to bring me a new beer, it's going to take a while. But if I go in there and I'm like, hey, need another beer, she'll be like, cool, perfect. Now it's fast. So can you optimize your strategy to speed things along? Absolutely. See here. Good enough, very anti-Hollywood, but they don't know much, do they? Yeah, you know, the reality of relationships would make a terrible movie because actual good relationships are not interesting to watch because there's not drama. There's not the ups and downs. There's not the, oh my God, I think I'm pregnant and I don't know who the father is kind of bullshit. Yeah. That's what makes them a good relationship, is that it doesn't possess any of the Hollywood stuff, right? So all that stuff that you see in Hollywood or on TV shows, like you look at did you guys ever have King of Queens? The what's his name? The fat dude.
I know.
Kevin James. Okay. So there's fat Kevin James, who's a married suburban husband, and his wife is this smoking hot actress.
Okay.
And he's just like so supplicating to her all the time, and like,
right.
Oh, husband is always wrong and the wife is always right, and like it's just fucking pure propaganda.
Right.
That's all it is. Also, girls like that don't marry guys like that.
Yeah.
They don't marry them like by personality, nope. By money, nope. By his actions, nope. By his looks, nope. Like everything about that thing is a lie, and absolute propaganda. I'm gonna have to just like douse myself in mosquito medicine when I get home. I've just been chewed up, bled dry.
Yeah, I noticed there's some around, but they're not really going on me.
My man, they are devouring me. Yeah. So anyway, while you have me here, any other questions you have? They don't even have to be related to this topic. Just anything at all.
Yeah, I got. Well, now that we're on the subject, I think people who hear this, I have my own thought about it. I'm kind of curious what you think. Who should not be going for the high quality girl right now?
If you're looking for just fast, easy sex, if you're looking for hookups, if you would prefer it, if you guys never even exchanged names and only exchanged bodily fluids, you're wasting your time with high quality girls, because high quality girls are going to take more time investment, they're going to take more emotion investment,
right.
And you're going to fall into traps that you did not expect because it's not what you set out to do, right?
Okay.
So like if I've been training as a marathon runner for the last year, and then I just decide, okay, cool. Like I've never hopped into a swimming pool before in my life, but I'm good at running, so may as well take a shot at swimming at the triathlon, right? Okay. Like, no, it's like you're playing the wrong game there,
right?
And you're going to fuck things up that you otherwise wouldn't.
Right.
You're gonna fall into traps. Hi. And so if you want to meet hookups, go meet hookups. Right. If you want to meet high quality women for actual relationships, then by the same token, stop meeting hookups.
Okay.
I know this is a tough pill for guys to swallow. This is actually really hard. But whenever I talk to guys sometimes, and this is the line that they'll feed me. They'll say, oh, well, like, I want a long-term relationship if it comes along, if the right girl comes along. Like, I'm open to that.
So you don't agree with that at all?
Let's flip the script.
Okay.
If you met a girl and she said, "Oh yeah, actually, I'm really open to a long-term relationship if the right guy comes along," and then you're like, "Oh, okay, cool. Well, like, what did you do last week?" And she's like, "Oh, I went out to the nightclub and I fucked some random dude." Then you'd be like, "Well, no, hold on, right? Like this, your words and your behavior don't match here.
Uh-huh.
So how can I possibly think that you're ready, that you're high quality, that you're actually what you say you are?"
But that's for the girl though.
Okay, right. And I think that the same goes for the guy because imagine if I told you like I'm gonna stop drinking when I have the right reason to. Like, okay, cool, then I'm never gonna have the right reason to. Or I'm always just gonna keep on making excuses for why it's not the right reason. Or I'm gonna tell you every single week, like, oh, I'm definitely never drinking again. Or whatever. Like your words and your behavior do need to match up in order for a girl to actually take you seriously at all. If you're just going out and banging everything, whenever you meet these high quality girls, what are you gonna do? You're gonna treat them like sluts, and you're gonna try to bring them out and try to bang them, and it might work out, right? This you should still try to hook up. I'm not saying don't, right? But if your behavior makes it very clear that no, my life is all about just meeting girls, having a quick wham bam, thank you, ma'am, and then goodbye. But if the right one comes along, I might let her see me 2 or 3 more times. What girl is going to be like, oh, that sounds awesome. I'd love to be that girl.
Yeah.
You get what I mean?
So, I think so.
Also, it's incongruent, which we talk about congruence all the time.
Yeah. I think for me, I've definitely lost a few girls who I'd say would want me to go slower. Simply because I think when it came to around date 3, they were expecting, okay, some guy who's looking for a boyfriend is going to act like this.
Yeah.
Like we're going to have a really nice, crazy, date that I actually really thought about. And it just wasn't, it was just like, hey, when are you free?
You know what, like expectations and stuff like that. That's what we were just talking about with the Hollywood stuff and like the TV shows and stuff. And it's like, no. Throw all of that out the window. None of that matters. You do not need to be playing towards expectations, be they societal or cultural or even personal maybe. Like we can have a discussion about that.
Okay.
But as far as like, oh, because it's the 3rd date, she's expecting this thing. Forget that. Do you be yourself? But you need to, if you already know her, you know her type, you know her traits, you know what kind of relationship you're looking for, and you're pretty sure she's looking for the same thing, then you also know what she's looking for in a guy. You know what aspects of yourself to show her, right? Like we all have different versions of ourselves that we show, right? Like you're gonna act differently with the girl out at the bar than you are with your grandmother, right? Like so obviously you have different versions of yourself. You show at different times. Know when to put on which mask. And maybe, I don't know.
Okay. Anyway.
And so, yeah, like throw expectations out the window, but be real, be yourself. And if being yourself means, if that means all we're gonna do is, I know it's our 3rd day. That's why I prepared something extra special today for Netflix and chill. I got the extra butter version, right? Like if that's genuinely you, then it's up to her to choose. I want this or I don't.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't fake it. Don't put out some fake pretense because then it's, first of all, again, incongruent. It's gonna feel off. It's gonna feel awkward. Things aren't gonna feel right. She might enjoy it for the moment, right? Because there's gonna be hungover Sunday manga, and there's gonna be Saturday night at the bar manga, and there's gonna be vacation manga. Like there's different types of you. But if you're faking it, if you're trying to be vacation manga on a fucking Wednesday night, it's not going to feel right. It's not going to feel right to you. It's not going to feel right to her. It's going to feel awkward all around.
Okay.
Expectations, gone.
So where does the breakdown happen? Because you're saying the guys who are like, You know, I'm just looking for some fun, but eventually I want to find the right girl. You're saying those guys, I don't know if I understood it right, but you're saying those guys should change.
Those no. Those guys are what I hear when they say that is I'm not looking for high quality women right now.
Oh, okay.
I'm not filtering for those girls right now.
So you're saying those guys should actually just be honest that they're looking
Yes.
for hookups.
Just be honest that like I'm only looking for hookups right now. Probably in about 2 or 3 years, or however long it's going to be for you, right? In about 2 or 3 years, I think I might be ready. We might come back and revisit this topic then. But for right now, I should just be honest that
Okay.
actually what I'm looking for is just to stick my dick in the right girl, which is just Miss Right now,
Yeah, yeah.
right? And again, there's nothing wrong with that because I was there for many years myself.
Yeah.
And I literally passed through multiple excellent women who were absolutely marriage material,
Mhm.
but I wasn't there yet. So
Okay.
instead of trying to fake it, instead of trying to be like, oh, well, the right one came along. So now what?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
no. I was just here to bang in the first place. Now, just because my game is good and I was able to get a prude to lose her virginity to me 2 hours after we met in a fucking Norebong doesn't mean that now I changed my strategy. I'm still doing the thing that I'm doing, which is I'm still banging. She makes her own decisions. She's a fucking grown up, right? Like, it's not up to me to be like, oh, well, now that I've found a high quality woman, I need to completely change everything about myself and about my strategy. It doesn't work that way.
Well, why didn't you say, I don't know how much longer, I could ask you questions on this forever.
We can go for a while.
Okay.
We should probably order another beer then.
Okay.
Whenever Emo looks up. Yeah, she knows. Oh, she knows.
She
I fucking like her. I like her. Yeah. Thank you. I love you.
I love you.
High five. Awesome. Where did we put that fucking opener? Oh, there it is. Okay, good. Sorry, keep going then.
Isn't there a part where it's like there's things that you could do that calibrate to the girl that makes you more likely to retain her, or results in better conversions, but it's not totally who you are.
Yes, but
Okay.
not your core principles, not who you are deep down. So,
Why not?
well, why not? Why not? Let's
Because like that's actually a legitimate. Some people are like, I'll
Sure.
do whatever it takes
Sure.
to.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So, when a girl starts dating you,
Mhm.
she starts dating you because you are a good fisherman.
Mhm.
You're able to catch fish, in this case with well,
Right.
Because your fishing game is strong. She likes that. She's
Mhm.
really turned on by all the good things that you're doing. Then once you get in a relationship, you're like, okay, well, I will no longer be a fisherman.
Mhm.
But that's the thing that attracted her to you in the first place. Why would you throw that out the window? Because she might say, listen, women don't know what they want.
Okay.
They don't.
Okay.
They know what they think they want, but they don't know what they actually want.
Okay.
Right? And so she might say, oh my God, you know what I really, really want right now? I really want chocolate cake. And then you bring it to her and she's like, oh, fuck. And it's not even chocolate pound cake. I actually wanted the pound cake, but like chocolate, it's fine. She doesn't fucking know. She doesn't know. That's why every time, now you've had this experience. You've been out with a girl, maybe you're getting burgers or something, and you're like, hey, do you want fries? And she goes, no, I don't want any fries. And then your fries come and she's like, I want your fries.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
She doesn't know that she doesn't want fries, or she doesn't know that she does want fries.
Right.
Or maybe she doesn't want to admit it. Either way, end result is the same, which is what she tells you is not what she actually wants.
Okay.
So you can safely toss a lot of those things out the window, especially if it comes down to who you actually are.
Okay.
If Lady North asked me to actually just like stop drinking for good. I'd be like, no, that's not a thing. Like that's not gonna happen. Not because it's something that I just love so much and I'm so married to it that if I had to choose
You would.
her or booze, right? Like,
Yeah.
like it's not that. It's just that like, but don't you get that that's a big part of what makes me me. That like when I change that thing, I'm a different person.
Right.
This is the person that you were attracted to.
Right.
So that's why you can't ever change those core things. That's 2 in a row, baby. Next one is a tic-tac-toe. But other things that don't matter. If she said something like she's like, oh, I don't like those shorts. They've got like fucking cargo pockets on them. Here, wear these instead. Fine.
Right.
I don't shit.
Right.
So with things that don't matter, absolutely. So in a relationship, basically, pick and choose your battles. Now, I think that she's smart enough to know that trying to ask me to change core parts, damn it, I missed the tic-tac-toe, core parts of who I am or what makes me me, she would never do that. Because, first of all, she knows that I fucking wouldn't. But second, I think that she's also smart enough to know that, like, I may not like the way that this aspect of his personality presents itself, but I do realize that it's part of a greater overall amalgamation that I do like.
Right.
All right, let's see here. Oh, I'm so sorry, Coot. How do you change your system then? Oh, you mean going from like, I'm looking for hookup girls, so I'm looking for high quality girls? Well, you change.
I think it just happens.
I mean, it does happen, but you change your approach because what you're showing them, what the part of yourself that you're presenting completely changes. If I'm going out to meet hookup girls, then I'm in there with them and like I've got my arm around them all the time and I'm like, hey, come here, let me tell you a secret. And
Right.
just, right? Like I'm absolutely playing into the sex game because that's what I'm looking for. But then if I'm looking for a girl who's higher quality and I'm like, cool, let's play like the question game. Let me show you some of the deeper parts of myself that I think are going to be more attractive to what you are looking for.
Right.
Because different types of girls are looking for different traits in you as a man. So you have to show them those different traits. This doesn't mean changing who you are. It means adapting to show them those parts of yourself. Same as I said earlier, where like you're gonna talk different to the bar, to someone in the bar as you will to your grandmother. Same thing. Still you. It's still real. It's still honest, but it's different. It's a different mask. It's a different part of you. All right, let's see here. Should we kill the harem to find a serious girl? That's a hard one because a lot of that depends on what your harem is. And so here's something that's going to sound contradictory to what I said earlier. It's entirely possible to build a system that's filtering for high quality women, but also then be hooking up with girls. This requires you to build the system around the high quality girl, and that will, by its nature, attract high quality women as well as low quality women who are looking for a higher quality man. You are free to keep them around, to have hookups, to have a good time with them, to take them out to the fucking Norebong or whatever, right? You can do all that stuff while you're also still not committing to anything, making that very clear up front. Be like, look, just so that we're clear, just hanging out, we're just having fun. There's nothing serious here. Cool, we're good. Cards was one of my best early successes as a coach, and he met his now wife while he had a group of girls that he was also seeing at the same time. And as soon as he met her and he was like, oh, I like this one. This is the one that I've been looking for. Let's see what happens. You don't know yet if it's the one, right? But like, still, this is what I've been looking for. I want to see what happens. He immediately messaged all the harem girls and was like, hey, sorry, it's over. We're not meeting anymore. Okay. And that's it. So you can be seeing other girls and be doing other things as long as your system, your practices, your habits, your hobbies, how you present yourself, all of this is built around filtering for high quality women. If you're out to catch tuna and you get a couple of mackerels in there, it's fine. There's a couple mackerels in the net, but what we're looking for is the tuna. Are we still going to eat the mackerels? Fucking of course we are, man. Cut the mackerels. We're going to eat them. But we're looking for the tuna. We're not out here to catch mackerels. Shitty analogy, I know, but like my mindset of like what that is, right? And not kill the harem after like Paul did. Paul's circumstance was interesting and unique because Paul was a long-term traveler, not living or working in a place. And the appeal that Paul had to certain types of women worked for both quick, easy women and longer, high-quality women. When you get as good at what you do as Paul is at what he does, then you can break rules like that. Until then, follow the basic rules. Calibrate to the girls, which isn't what you are. That's 100% losing frame. Yeah. So, kind of, but that's not actually the. No. Actually, I'm going to push back on that a bit because it depends on what you mean there. If you're using the word calibrating to mean, like what I described earlier, like put on this different version of your personality for different people, that's not losing frame at all. That's just saying like, oh, you're left-handed. Okay, I can shake with my left hand. Oh, you're right-handed. I can shake with my right hand too. Like, that's the same way. Like if I meet a girl who doesn't speak English very well, I can speak Korean with her. That's not losing frame. That's calibrating to the girl. Now, supplicating to the girl, doing whatever she wants, or saying something like, "Oh, are you okay with this? Or do you want me to change that? Do you want me to act differently here? Oh, do you want me to stop drinking? Okay, yeah, no problem. Or like whatever, right? That kind of shit is losing frame. Well, that's not losing it. That's having no frame whatsoever to begin with. But calibrating to a situation is not losing frame. Calibrating to a situation is using a specific skill set to deal with a specific situation. That's completely different. You can still maintain perfect frame in that. All right, let's go back to you. If you have some more questions or things you want to talk about, I'm cool to stay here and work on this because from here to my home, a taxi is like $5-6 bucks. Yeah, it's like nothing.
Okay.
I'm not in a hurry to catch the train or anything.
Man, I thought of one. It was kind of unrelated, but made me think about it. I'm just trying to remember what it was.
No problem, Coot.
What did Coot say?
My pleasure, man. He said, "Thanks, Jack."
Okay.
Oh, by the way, for those of you who are still here, if y'all want to buy me and Brandon a beer, there's a QR code for it. I fucking love this thing. It's built into the site. Like, now there's this other thing out there that's like you can donate to the military, but I'm like, no. Buy me a beer.
Don't donate. Don't donate to the military.
Don't donate to the military. Buy me a beer instead. This one goes to my PayPal. So like they actually are buying me a beer if they do that. Sorry, what was your question?
I kind of forgot, but fuck. What was that? While I'm trying to remember, I'll say something I was gonna say to a question I asked you earlier. So I think there's actually some people who shouldn't try and get a very serious girl.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
I think if you're new to this, you don't actually know what a very high quality girl is until
Until you fucked it up, and then you end up in a world of regret.
well maybe
I've seen that.
just till you've seen quite a few different girls and you get an idea of what the high mark is and what the low mark is.
Yeah.
Because girls, like how a girl is on the first date isn't necessarily how she is when she feels totally secure with you.
No, of course not.
Yeah.
Everybody on a first date is trying to hide who they really are while showing the best parts of themselves.
Right.
That's men and women. That's just what a first date is,
Right.
right? And it's you shouldn't trust what is said or done on a first date, but you can take it as, oh, there you go. He says thanks, Manga, too. Yeah. But you, if you have a good social sense, you can tell who a person is, or at least what parts they're trying to show you
Right.
at the beginning, right?
Okay.
So, get it? Damn it. You can tell pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So there was a girl, actually the succubus, who I dated before I met Lady North.
Okay.
And on our first date, she fed me some bullshit line. Like, while we were just sitting there talking, just out of nowhere, she's like, oh, by the way, just so you know, I always wait 3 months before I have sex with a guy. And I was like, okay. How
I
old are
wouldn't
you?
believe that at all.
Right. I was like, oh, okay. Wait, quick question. How old are you? And she's, like, whatever, 26. And I'm like, okay, cool. So it's been more than 3 months. Hey, I'm Jack. What's up? Right? Like, because I called it out. I knew it was obvious bullshit. So, like, if you're socially calibrated and you know that sometimes people just say stuff that they think they're supposed to say, or they, they're playing some weird, like, let's see if he'll put up with this. I did. Thought I did, but
Anyway.
yeah. So if they're trying to play some game, and you know that they're trying to play a game, you can call it out. You can play with it.
Right.
Also, you should call it out because then they're going to give you a more honest response.
Right.
Okay. Other questions or thoughts?
Yeah. I'm kind of curious. So, this was a girl from last week. I kind of, this is unrelated to what we're talking about, but
Get him?
I got it.
Yeah.
So I hooked up with her.
Hey, come on in. Oh, you got to get between us. Here.
Oh,
Here, there you go. Yeah.
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 So we
Right, your girl from last week, yeah.
we hooked up on the second date. My first date was totally different than the second date. My first date, we weren't close to where I was at all. We were in Hongdae. She was just saying like, oh, I can't stay up too late. So I didn't even really try to pull her home. So we got food the first date, second date, or went to a second venue at a bar, and I was just going to the second bar just to like really drive the point home. Is like, hey, I'm a guy. Yeah, I'm gonna feel you at this bar.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So we did that. Second date, we go to another restaurant, go to another bar, and then we're walking to the train station so she can go home. But I was just like, hey, let's sit down at this bench. And then while we're sitting down at the bench, then I escalate. And I'm like, well, why don't we just get drinks at my place instead of you going back?
Yeah.
And so she came back. We like just immediately she was just hooking up, right? Like the next day, she's like, hey, sorry, I just don't think you're the right guy for me. Blah blah blah.
Okay.
What do you think that is? I know you've had that.
Yeah, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So that is most likely one of two things. Either one, she has a boyfriend that she didn't tell you about, and
Okay.
she wants to just keep this, shut it down now, so that it never gets found out.
Okay.
It never happened. It never existed.
Right.
Or two, she has some kind of um, internal conflict about it. It might be that she's like, wait, but I'm not the kind of girl who does this. She's hitting cognitive dissonance there. I'm not the kind of girl who does this. Despite having done it, I'm still not the kind of girl who does this. So I cannot continue this because I'm not the kind of girl who does this, and then has that like turns that into a relationship. It could be that she is a reformed slut who's trying to now get a high quality man. And like I said earlier, doesn't want to meet a guy and then be like, so what were you doing last weekend? And her answer is Brandon. Right? Like,
Yeah.
So it might be something like that.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Like
Because who I was on the second date, I felt like it was very different. Because my mindset was totally different. So I actually had a fake hickey on my neck.
Mhm.
I'm sure she noticed it. And
you went full fuck boy.
yeah, pretty much. And I was just, I was of the mindset where I was like, well, I don't really care about this girl. I just want to sleep with her, and if I see her later after this date, I don't really care.
Right.
Like that was my mindset on the second date, and I'm pretty sure that came across.
Yeah.
And I was kind of thinking like, she came to that date already deciding she wanted to hook up with me,
Mm-hmm.
but she also realized there probably isn't any future there,
Yeah,
and
that's
probably
possible.
something I did maybe turned her off a little bit, but she still wanted to hook up.
And it could be any number of things, right?
Yeah.
It could be that she was doing that as a test to see, like, oh, is he actually interested in me, or did he just want to hook up? Because if he's actually interested, then he'll be like, what? No, why? Like, hold on a minute. Let's meet out, let's talk about this, right? Or maybe she was like, oh my God, Brandon's monster hog absolutely destroyed me. I can't handle that every night, right? Could have been any number of things.
Could have been
There's no way to know for sure, but trying to speculate on what was going on in her mind doesn't help us at all. All that matters is the actions and the reactions, right? So what you did was you went out, you took her out, you sexualized, you hooked up, and then the next day she said, oh, I don't think we should continue this. This isn't what I want to do.
Right.
And instead of breaking frame and saying, wait, okay, but I don't want to lose you. I don't want to, I don't know when my next meal is coming, right?
Yeah.
You held to what you actually thought and wanted. You were like, okay, it's fine.
Yeah.
So action took place. Reaction was within congruence and within frame. There's nothing to change here.
Yeah.
That was
I agree.
correct to that situation.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I think.
Damn it! I'm like,
we've killed at least.
I know.
50.
It looks like I'm trying to fucking hold your hand too. So many. Oh my God. Okay.
Good escalation move, actually. Sorry, you have a mosquito. Oh,
Hold on. You got a mosquito there. Let me.
I think I got it. Oh,
Wait.
no, I didn't. Wait.
I think
over
I
there
got it.
Oh, it went lower.
It splattered on your shirt. Here, let me lick it off. All right. I'm gonna give us a cutoff, and I'm gonna say you have until the end of this beer to ask questions because I cannot handle the mosquito nest that we're sitting in.
All right. Well,
We can still continue the conversation and the hangout, but we're gonna cut the live stream after that. Were you worried she thought the sex was bad?
No.
Let me ask you a very important question. Did you finish?
No, I didn't.
Then the sex was bad.
Why?
Well, because it was bad for you, right? You didn't finish. Then, like, okay, failed. Maybe that explains why he didn't care to see her again.
Maybe. I don't know. She unless she's very good at faking, she came 3 times. So
Okay.
we went for about an hour, and it got to the point where she was like, "Okay, I'm really sore."
Yeah.
So that's where that one is.
This is not a muscle exercise regularly enough, clearly.
Yeah.
I need to be doing my Kegels and deadlifts.
That was also when I realized I think short hair is a bit of a turnoff.
Short hair is a huge turnoff to me.
Yeah.
Like, to me, you see this girl inside here in the corner?
Yeah.
That's basically the shortest
Really?
that I'm okay with. Yeah, like
Wow.
a bit past the shoulder. You guys can't see her, and because of legal reasons in Korea, I can't do that. But a bit past the shoulder is that's where I'm like, okay, that is plenty short. Even still to this day, every time Lady North tells me she's gonna go get a haircut, I always ask her, how much?
How
And yeah, like how much are you trying to chop off? Because if you come back with a fucking pixie cut, I'm sending you to live with your mother for 6 months, and then once you have your hair again, you're welcome to come back home. But also, I'm an asshole. However, an asshole within frame and congruence. So it works. It matters. That stuff does matter. All right. What else you got, champ?
Can't think of anything else.
Right, like this girl here in the corner, like her hair comes down to like just touching her shoulders. It's cute, but it's not attractive.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
so that's kind of my point on the like a bit past the shoulders.
Right.
Is the shortest that like, okay,
Right.
this is attractive. This is clearly a woman, right?
Actually, the longer the hair, it's like the more I get turned on. by
Yeah,
it,
the longer the hair, the more feminine. Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing: if you're gonna have short hair, the Ajumma is working here, where she's got like short hair, but it's pulled back in that little like half ponytail.
Right.
Where like then there's still some down on the bottom. I'm like, I could work with that, but it's definitely not. It's definitely not a plus. And if anything, it's a negative. However, I do like the style.
What's the oldest girl you've been with?
Should I tell you her age now or her age at the time?
At the time.
Okay. At the time, I was 23. She was 44.
Okay.
And
almost double your age.
Jesus. Yeah, they're coming out in force. The mosquito wars are on, motherfuckers. You guys thought June was the start of the gay wars. The gay wars are nothing compared to the mosquito wars. Shit, send the short-haired girls my way. No, get your own, motherfucker. Ah.
What did you guys say for that? There's someone who said something.
Oh, he said, Brandon, her mouth didn't work. I like this. I like this. Like, oh, I'm getting so sore. Oh, okay. Well, I have good news. Get a nice massage here. You're not sore yet. We still got a few more ways to deal with this.
I was dead after that point.
Yeah, no. If
I was kind of.
if you've been banging for an hour
Yeah.
plus and you didn't finish yet, you're
Yeah.
probably just drunk and it's fine.
Yeah.
Right, like that happens. What were we talking about?
Oldest girl.
Oh, the oldest girl. Yeah. She was, and so that was highly inadvisable. She was also my coworker.
Oh, really?
It was fucking awful idea. She was.
How did that end? Did that end okay, or was that
It
complicated?
It it didn't end badly. We hooked up a few times, but so this is when I was living outside of Seoul. I was living in the middle of nowhere,
Right.
my first year in Korea, and we hooked up. And she was from Seoul, but she had come down there to like I think take care of like her uncle or something who was really sick, and she
Okay.
stayed there for like 6 or 8 months or something, and then he ended up dying, and so then she moved back to Seoul after that.
Okay.
But while she was there, we would just like hook up sometimes, and then she moved back to Seoul, and when I moved to Seoul the next year, then we would still kind of keep in touch.
I got it.
But we stopped hooking up at that point because now I'm in Seoul. I'm not needing fucking 45-year-old pussy.
Right.
Right? Like
Right.
now I have options.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I came back and like we still hung out a few times, but oh my god, she was such a fucking pain in the ass. Also, here's a fun one for you. She is actually the direct inspiration for the materialist. So whenever I was writing the different types, I chose a girl who I had dated or no, not knew, like at least knew biblically. Like
Okay.
we hooked up a few times, so
Okay.
I knew her pretty well, right?
Okay.
So I chose girls who I felt best exemplified this personality type, these qualities.
Okay.
And I used them as the basis to explain the personality, the pros and cons of dating them, the where to find them, the keys to sealing the deal. Like, okay, well, what did I do with this type of girl?
Right.
And these, obviously, the way that it's written is like, this is the concentrated version of when I think of that girl, and I only focus on these traits of hers. Because every girl, even like her, she was like a perfect materialist, but also she had elements of some of the other types as well. But like maybe 5% of this, 10% of that, she was mostly materialist.
Right.
So in my mind, she's like the perfect concentrated version, which makes it great for me to use her as the basis for like, this is how to explain this personality type.
Right.
This is how to explain how to deal with this type of girl.
Right.
And they are, well, all of the different types are this same way, where they're all based on a specific girl who I've dated in the past. None of them are like, I mean, obviously, like when you read them and like, oh wow, this ring's really true. It's obvious that none of them are born of fiction, right? But also, they're less born of pattern recognition and more born of like, then how do I classify this girl? Because like when I was first sitting down to come up with the list of the different types, and I was looking back through the different girls that I dated in the past, I was like, okay, what would I call this girl if I boiled her down to a type? What is she? Like, oh, okay, no, that makes sense because now that I put a name to it, I'm like, oh, I see that pattern across different girls as well. No, yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense. And then if I ever came to a girl that I was like, hold on, but she defies classification for what I have so far. So then what is she? And then again, like it creates a thing. And that's how I ended up creating 13, actually 14. But I never wanted to write the 14th type. The succubus, I never wanted to write it because it's the only one of the types that is purely negative. All of the other types, even the cheater, that everybody looks at that and they're like, oh, that's awful. I don't want anything to do with it. Okay, you say that, but here's the thing. If you're 26, let's say you're doing a work study program in Korea for 6 months, like the cheaters are really into doing adventurous stuff, having new experiences, trying new stuff. You can keep her attention for 6 months and she'll want to go out and try fucking everything. You want a girl to go whitewater rafting with you? Absolutely, she's there. You want a girl to take to the VR experience down in Coed? She's there for it, right? Like, so the cheater is always down for new experiences. So even she has some really positive redeeming qualities, some reasons to date her in certain circumstances.
Right.
The succubus is the only one that has no redeeming qualities, no reason to date her. There's nothing good about her, and so I didn't want to write it. I never wanted to write it because I don't like the idea of being purely negative
Right.
on a type of girl. But also, now that we are putting this out globally, I feel like it would be remiss of me to not warn guys that, like, there are some girls in the world who will take you for all you've got, try their best to ruin your life, maybe even try to actually kill you. You need to be aware. Your mother was right when she warned you about this type of girl. And that's how the write-up of the second this actually begins, which is, this is the mother, or this is the girl your mother warned you about, and not in a good way. Right?
Interesting.
Yeah.
So there, you wouldn't even recommend like a first date with that girl.
If you so
There is
what
no reason to go on a date.
there's no reason whatsoever. Actually, in the write-up, one of the sections is how to find her.
Yeah.
And I said in there, I was like, actually, this section needs to be retitled for this specific girl. We're keeping it because the system stays the same, but for this girl, it's not how to find her, it's how to spot and avoid her.
Right.
Right? Because, yeah, there's not even a first date, not even a fucking blowy. Like, nothing.
Really?
Nothing with that type of girl. Oh, what's up, Angel? Welcome, buddy. You just entered? You're an hour and a half late, dude. What the fuck? Do you not have a clock?
I don't know what that is.
Mm.
Unity.
Yeah, I think he's Sabi.
Okay.
Community.
Okay.
Yeah. He's a good guy. I've hung out with him a couple
Yeah,
of times. He comes up with Coot from Dayton sometimes. Coot's got actually a pretty good group of guys. He was on a date. Hold on a minute. You're telling me this motherfucker was on a date and then he's coming back with his balls still full, because if he's on a date and it's 11:30 and he's back home alone, then what
He's
the
either
fuck?
fast or
Yeah. He's either fast or failed, and so he's either fast or furious. And he decided to come back and like, right, my balls are full and I'm fucking angry about it. I know. I'm gonna tune in and watch Jack and Brandon shoot the shit. Right? Like, Angel, how did the date go? Did you? Caesar and Paul are fucking sending me memes instead of joining the stream. What a bunch of actual assholes. Twats. He said he got a fruit. Love me some fruits. That's good. That's good. Run that. Oh, well. You have this long to ask any remaining questions you have. YouTube. Any more questions or thoughts before we move away from Mosquito
I
Alley?
can ask you questions forever.
All right,
No
go
one
for it.
else does.
Go for it. Because it's fucking pouring rain, and now I don't even want to leave, even though the mosquitoes.
She didn't drink.
She didn't drink. Well then, hold on a minute. Wait. She didn't drink. She didn't drink what you offered, or she didn't drink as a rule. Like she says, oh, I simply do not drink. Prude is why you're back early. Well, I don't know, man. The girl who I used as the archetype to write about the prude, I met her off of Scout. This is how fucking old I am. I used an app called Scout before Tinder even existed. And I met this prude girl off of there. She took like 2 weeks to meet me for a date, but then once we did, we met up. We had dinner for 45 minutes. We had mojitos for another 20 minutes. And then within an hour and a half, we were back at my place and we were fucking.
Really?
And I was the first guy that she'd ever slept with, period.
Really?
So you said, let's go to the bar, but she said next time. She ate some pills too after we had dinner. Wait, she said go to the bar next time. So she said go to the bar next time. So she does drink. You just didn't make a good enough offer. Right? Like clearly she was willing to drink and she does drink, but how you presented it or what you offered her wasn't right. That's why with the fruit, when I took her for dinner, I had drinks and she didn't. She was like, "Oh no, I don't like beer or soju." So okay, cool. And then I ordered a Meiwasu because that's like a sweet little baby alcohol thing. And I ordered her a Meiwasu, and she said, "Oh my god, how did you know? Meiwasu is like my absolute favorite." And I was like, "I could fucking tell. That's a pure guess, but right, it doesn't matter. You can own it." And then I took her after for some actual good cocktails at a nearby lounge bar, and then took her back home for some cock and kale. You met her in Boy Scouts.
Did you do a taxi pull with that girl?
No, because she lived in the same neighborhood with me.
Okay.
Like we both lived in. She lived like 2 subway stops away, but my home was at like the hangout hub for that neighborhood,
I see.
and so it was easy to be like, right, let's just meet at this station, which also conveniently enough is
Where you live?
like a 5 minute walk from my place.
Perfect.
All right, let's see here. I was not strong there at the offer, and the bar was like 1 minute away. The bar was 1 minute away, and you couldn't get her to go over there and have a cocktail. Are you absolutely shitting me? You like, all right, cool. That's fine. I totally understand. I'm not going to be mad at past failures. What we're going to do is we're going to find future solutions. Here's what you do in that kind of situation. She says like, "Oh no, I don't like beer or I don't like soju or whatever it is," and you say, "Okay, but let me ask you a very serious question. Mosquito trying to get into the fucking live stream. Do it. Get it, boy." Hold on. I'm got it. He made it to the live stream after all. Anyway, so here's what you do. You say, "Oh, no, now listen, let me ask you a very serious question. Have you ever had sex on the beach?" And she's going to be like, "I'm sorry, fucking what? Have I ever had what on the where?" You're like, no. It's a cocktail. It's like peach flavored. It's got some schnapps in it. It's really delicious. It basically tastes like a soda or like Kool-Aid. Or, like Milkis, and like she'll know this, right? 'Cause she's Korean. You're like, Milkis. It's basically like that, where like it's really sweet and it's really good. And it does have a little bit of alcohol, but not a lot. Quite weak, and it'll just help you like loosen up and have a good time. So that's how you make the sale on that. You start off with something that sounds ridiculous, which is, "Have you ever had sex on the beach?"
Right.
And then now all of a sudden, whenever you're like, "Oh no, but it's just a cocktail," after she freaks out, then she's like, "Oh, woo, shoulders down, defenses down," because her shields go up strong when you say that. And then you say, "Wait, that's the name of a cocktail," and they calm down instantly, and now you're good to go and you're golden. Let's see here. Anyway, she's up for drinks next time. Yes, absolutely. We got to invest in some bug spray for the weekends. Here's the thing. Usually, the mosquitoes don't come out while it's literally pouring rain. But I don't know.
Yeah, they are.
They are everywhere in this particular place. We were just somewhere else earlier, and that was even a basement, and there were no mosquitoes. I think they must have like a hive back there that they're breeding. Maybe that's what they use to flavor the stew.
The mosquito stew.
Well, I have good news for you fuckers, which is it's raining too hard for me to go anywhere else right now. So despite Mosquito Alley, I'm gonna order some more beers. Another beer?
I'll take one.
Another beer it is. I'm also gonna find out where the bathroom is. Hey, you get to talk to the boys for a little bit. Dude, I have bites all over from the last 2 weeks. Yeah, man. Me too. I am absolute happy time mosquitoes because they love getting drunk off my blood.
Who's X? Who is that?
Is that Crow? XX2 Crow?
Yeah.
That's Adam in the chat.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
At least I think so.
Okay. Well, Jack's gonna be back in a
I'm gonna
minute.
get us some beers and find the bathroom.
Yeah. So unless you guys have a question, I'll just kind of talk about what I've been up to. So I've had a date every single day for the last 3 weeks, and one thing I realized is like I haven't been converting as. Oh, that's Jake. Okay, got it. Kamsahamnida. Thank you. Haven't been converting as well as I normally would because back in Canada, I kind of always thought like of Bumble girls as relationship girls, and you need to really go slow with them because that seemed to be pretty true in Canada. But so it's like I have tons of dates, but my conversion rate's quite low on just getting sex off the first date. So I think what I need to work on this week, next week, and maybe for the next month or so is actually just getting as sexual as I can on the date, so I can so I can just hook up more on the first dates. This is Coots. Brandon, how different is dating? Totally different. I'll keep showing that. So yeah, my last girlfriend was Korean, but she moved to Canada 10 years ago. I would say it's the same, totally the same. She was. Jack has an archetype for her. She's what type was she? Not materialist. She's the worker bee. She was a worker bee.
Love me
So,
some worker
so
bee.
even though she was in Canada, she still fit that description. And the only thing that changed was just she was in Canada, so she was a little bit more used to Canadian dating norms, where I don't know, you can run like very Canadian type dates, and you can text her as a Canadian. It was pretty much the same. I don't think it's any different. I don't think it's any different. Korean girl in Canada versus a Korean girl here. I think it's the same.
It depends on where she was born.
Daegu.
Yeah. Like if she's born in Korea, she's a Korean girl.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Except that any Korean girl who moves abroad is at minimum 10% a foreigner level.
Oh yeah, of course.
That is a big part of the impetus to move abroad. Like it is for us.
Yeah.
It would be fucking foolish for us to say like, oh, but that's not a thing that girls consider. Of course they fucking do.
No, she was never with an Asian guy before, so.
Right. So she's just in for the BWC.
Yeah, but her body count was pretty low, so I don't know.
What was the question?
I was dating a Korean girl or a Canadianized Korean girl versus a Korean.
The most important thing is how they're raised and where they're raised.
Yeah.
Because if they're raised in Canada or in America, then they are Canadian or American.
Yeah.
Even if they're not by citizenship.
Yeah.
None of that matters. Like
Yeah.
the culture that they grew up with dictates completely who they become and what they think is normal, is acceptable, is good, is bad, whatever else. So yeah, a Korean girl who has been moved to Canada, unless she's been there for like 20 years or something, like she's still Korean.
Yeah. Totally.
See how like
I see.
yeah,
That was the most recent one.
yeah, that's the most recent one. Jay, wait, X2 Crow, you're Jay. Mosquitoes eating your life force as revenge for exposing the fellow succubus. Yeah. X2 Crow, I thought that was Adam. I didn't realize that was Jake. I had no idea. Jake, we were talking about you earlier. Cheers. You might have missed that part. We were talking about how to meet high quality women, and you and your date with I'm not going to call her out by name, but you and your date last week came up. Oh, okay. I didn't fucking know that. I thought it was Adam. Well then, I now like you 3 times more. That's rude. Also, I've had enough to drink that I can be honest. So, Brandon, any more questions or thoughts?
Well, I'll ask you the question I asked you earlier, but you didn't finish answering.
Oh, okay.
Before we started the stream. So I was telling them I've had a date at least scheduled every single day for the last 3 weeks.
Right.
And the nice thing is I have so many dates, but the problem is that I don't have time to reflect on them. And the issue I was running into is they're not sexual enough. And they're not sexual enough. And like, even though I can get a girl to touch me and I'm touching her, it's not quite that like, okay, like she's down to fuck right now. Like I could just make out with her and she would be down for that. She's just okay with me feeling her leg. So it's like we're going a little bit, but not the full way. And then when I pull her back, there's a little bit of resistance usually. So the question, or do you want to say?
No, go on.
So the question I had before, and I don't know if you're comfortable saying it.
Go ahead.
Okay. Is that what are 3 things I can do right away that will make it more sexual? And then there was a follow-up question, but I'll let you answer those.
Okay.
So you said one thing was touch her immediately.
3 things, yeah. 3 things you can do right away.
Yeah.
You touch her immediately. That will help with it.
Right.
You should, if at all possible, you should find a reason to be sitting next to her as opposed to across from her.
Okay.
Across from her creates a barrier, like literally a physical barrier, but also it works mentally and emotionally.
Right.
Creates a barrier there. We don't want that. If it's absolutely unavoidable, you must sit across. So like in that bar earlier, if you only seat for those 2 seats, that like you're sitting across from each other, then you should still be playing footsies with her, like fucking with her and doing stuff like that. Like it should still be physical in some way, shape, or form.
Okay.
So that's number 2. Number 3 is going to be making passing comments about her as a sexual creature. So this would like go to what I said earlier about like, oh, I really like that skirt. Your ass looks great in it. Did you wear it just for me? Or something like that. Or like the comment that I made yesterday about the girl stopped growing in middle school or something. Right. Where I made passing comments because I want to make sure that she knows I view her as a sexual being.
Okay.
Now, the actual goal, did you get it?
No.
Okay. Well, the actual goal is for them to feel it without you doing anything.
Okay.
So, for example, the lady who's working here, she was feeling uncomfortable with my flirting and my like, even though I'm just being playful, I'm just messing with her, right? But like earlier, whenever she came out, and I was like, "Oh, I love you," and she's like, "Oh, I love you too." And then I looked inside, and we made eye contact, and I blew her a kiss, and I was like, "Hey, good." And she put on an apron to cover up her tits because she was feeling like, "Oh, he's looking at me as a sexual being."
Mm-hmm.
They can feel it. They know it. So that's the ultimate end goal, right? Now, the three things that I gave you earlier will help you with getting to that point. But the point is, they should always feel like not I need to be on guard. That's not it, because that's creepy feeling, right? That's Joe Biden stuff. We don't want that, right? Instead, what we want is we want them to always know that like he absolutely views me as a potential sexual partner. And he's assessing me and deciding whether or not he wants to pursue that.
Okay, so he sees me as a sexual partner.
As a potential sexual partner. As a potential sexual partner. This is important because it's not thirsty. It's the opposite of thirsty, but how it looks visually, this looks the same as thirst, except you add in confidence and swagger and the fact that I happen to know that my balls are empty right now. Like, I have banged within the last 24 hours.
Right.
So,
Right.
for me, I don't actually give a shit one way or another. However,
Right.
she should feel that, like, oh, this is a guy who he finds a way to empty his balls every time. Like, you know what I mean? Like, and like, I'm in contention for a possible spot in his roster.
I see.
Is kind of how she should feel.
Interesting.
If that makes any sense.
It does a little bit, yeah. I never really thought about it that way,
Yeah.
but that is kind of hitting some buttons for sure.
Mm.
So, okay. So number one, feel it right away.
Not feel her. Touch.
Okay.
Touch.
Sorry, I feel right.
I mean,
That's
like-
what I meant.
Yeah, I know what you meant. Nice to meet you. I know what you meant, but also, so the precision in the words is going to affect your mindset on it, and so breaking the touch barrier. This is a better way to put it. Breaking the touch barrier right away, making it feel like it's the most natural and normal thing in the world.
Okay.
Right? That should always be job one when you first meet.
Okay.
Because a handshake doesn't do that.
No.
A handshake feels like I just bought a car, right? Like
Right,
it feels like I just made some
A
sort of
business
business.
acquaintance.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Like
Yeah.
I'm not interested in that. Now, you can use the handshake to your advantage. If you've already been talking to the girl on Tinder, Bumble, Hinge, whatever, but doesn't matter. Then skip the handshake altogether. Be like, oh, it's so good to see you. It's good to finally meet you.
Right,
like
right.
go in for the hug right from the beginning.
Right.
Give her a kiss and then be like,
Right.
oh, that's your turn. Okay,
Right.
cool. Right, like absolutely. You're going in from the beginning because this is a date. We do not want any miscommunication or misunderstanding on this. From the beginning, this is a date. We are here on a date. Now, I'm not like whipping my cock out and be like, oh, it's nice to meet you. Here, shake hands. Right? Like not fucking weird.
Right.
But if you present the kiss on the cheek, even though that is culturally inappropriate here, that is not something that Koreans do at all. But if to you it is just the most natural thing in the world, it's
Right.
just what happens next.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything. It's just normal.
Right.
That's just what people will do.
Okay.
They will follow your lead if your lead is correct and strong enough.
Right.
Correct in your mind. Doesn't matter for mine. Nobody
Right.
gives a shit.
Right. Right.
Right? So, yeah, break the touch barrier right away. Absolutely. What was number two? Number three was making passing sexual comments.
Number two was sit beside her.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sit beside
so
her, win it all possible.
you guys can't see this, but there is a chair right there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the normal thing would be if we say this third chair was
Yeah.
here, we sit down. How would you sit down in this situation? Because she's gonna sit here, you're gonna sit there. What would you do?
You guys won't be able to see this, so I apologize for that. But you're just
So
gonna have to trust
There's
my
a
vocal-
chair here.
vocal
There's a table
description.
here.
Right.
There's another chair across the table.
So here's the thing, like when we walk up,
Yeah.
and I say, "Oh, this place looks good. All right, cool. Drop my bag here. Pull up the chair here.
Okay, there's not that chair. That's what I'm asking.
Okay. There's not that chair here.
Yeah.
All right.
Just do it.
So I think that we should get the
Why are you sitting like that, Jeff?
What are you talking about?
Oh. Here we go.
Right? Like because
I
like
wish you guys could see that.
because even yeah, I wish they could too,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because like that shut it right the fuck down, right?
Totally.
Because like you could say something. You could be like, "Why are you sitting here and not there?" I'm like, "Well, because I'm on a date with you and I want to talk to you.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to the wall." Wait, were you hoping to have a conversation with the wall here? I mean, the wall is pretty sexy, but I think I've got it beat by at least 2 inches. Right? Like you like fucking play with it, right? It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. None of it matters.
So I think okay, and then anything else you would say about the second thing?
No. Sit either beside her or like that. That's catty corner.
Just where you can touch to.
Yeah, where you guys are touching. So ideally, like this. I know that we're kind of huddled in because of the camera angle,
Right.
but like where your knees are kind of touching,
Yeah,
and where like it makes perfect sense to
Yeah.
be like grabbing and touching while you're talking.
Yeah.
It's exactly where you want to be.
Yeah.
Not
Okay.
side by side looking forward. This is a little bit awkward. This is a lot better for a date.
Is
Now,
it?
this
Okay.
is better for a date. So
Okay.
if we're so again, I'm trying to stay in camera and still do this, but yeah, we can make this happen, right?
Okay.
So hold on, let me turn this down. Right, so here's the corner of the table, and like here
Uh-huh.
is good.
Uh-huh.
Here is better. So what I would normally do is I'd pull the chair up to right here.
Yeah.
And we'd be talking, we'd be, having some food, having some drinks, whatever.
Right.
And then I might be like, hey, listen, I wanna tell you something. And I'd make an excuse to move myself in closer.
Right.
I want to tell you something that like I don't want other people to hear. There's these weird fucking mosquitoes around and I don't trust them. They are absolute blabbermouths. I tell you what, they'll put their hibiscus on anybody. Wait, hibiscus is the flower. What's the mosquitoes this thing? Their stabby needle nose thing. What's it called? It's not hibiscus.
Their needle?
That's the flower. Their needle. They'll stick their needle in anyone. I tell you. Mosquitoes and sailors. I can't trust them. Yeah. So like I would make a reason to be here.
Okay.
And this puts us in a position where like more can happen downstairs where like our knees just naturally touch, which is kind of touch.
Right.
And then like, maybe if things are starting to get a little bit heated,
Right.
kind of work your way up the skirt a little bit, right?
Right.
If the situation,
Of course.
all of the situation, obviously, but yeah, don't sit across.
So, what I got from that, I don't know if you're very touchy.
Yeah.
And you're very sexual.
Yeah.
But there's something behind it, and that's that you're 100% sure that's the right thing to do.
Of course.
Yeah.
Because
See, of course, it's not even like, well, yeah, I think it's a good idea. Like, of course.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. So this is decisiveness.
Yeah.
In action.
Yeah.
Like I decided. I looked at the situation. I made a decision. Should I sit there? Should I sit here? Should I sit here?
Uh-huh.
I chose one, and then, of course, that's the one that I think is best.
Yeah.
Because that's the one that I chose.
Right.
I wouldn't choose the one that I didn't think was best.
Right.
So of course,
Right.
right? That's the decisiveness.
Right,
There.
right.
Like, is there any point in questioning it? Right. So like, if I sat down here, and then she asked me like, "Why are you sitting there?"
Right.
In my mind, what's the point in this question? I've already decided this. I saw the options. I'm not fucking blind.
Right.
I chose this one. Why? Do you actually want to know why? Because like we can talk about that, but that doesn't seem very interesting. I know. Let's have a beer and some potatoes instead.
But
Right?
there is a why behind it.
Of course there is.
Yeah.
But she doesn't want to hear it. And so if she asks, "Why did you sit here?"
What's the reason?
The answer is, "What do you mean?" And then she says like, "Oh, well, like you chose to sit here instead of sitting there." And then the reason is, "Oh, I thought about that. This one seems better." That's it. Like
The real reason is, well, because it's easier to escalate on you when I'm sitting here. You're not saying that.
The
There is like a slight calibration.
the real reason for anything is unimportant. What's the reason that you matched with me on Bumble? If she's being entirely honest, maybe she says like, well,
I like
because
that.
because I heard that foreigners have big dicks, and I just figured, you know what, I want to find out for myself.
You had a nice smile.
You is probably a lie,
Right.
right?
Yeah,
Like, you get what I mean?
yeah, of course.
So like, there is an element of there's always an element of we know that what you're saying is not entirely true, but we prefer it that way because that's what society asks of us,
Right.
right? Because if we were all being entirely honest, why did you do anything you did? Because I thought that it would increase my chances of procreating and reproducing.
Right.
And that would be the answer to literally everything.
Right.
Why did you build a home with your bare hands? Because I thought it would increase my chances of procreating and reproducing. Why did you grow a beard and not shave it off? Because I thought it would increase my chances of procreating and reproducing. Why did you shave off your beard? Because I thought it would, right? Like, it's the answer to literally everything. Why did that building even get built? Because somebody thought that would increase its chance of procreating and reproducing. Right? Like,
Yeah.
literally everything in the world. So, anytime the only time that that's not the case is in a situation like this, right? Where it's like, Jack, why did you order beer? Not because it would increase my chance of procreating and reproducing, because I wanted a beer.
Right.
This, like, dudes hanging out with dudes is the one time that is not the case.
Right.
Literally everything else, though. Why did you get a job? Why did you go to university? Why did you run track in high school? Right? Like, all of that.
Yeah.
Anything that is not specifically dudes hanging out with dudes
Right.
is 100% because I thought it would increase my chances of passing on my genes.
Okay.
Right?
Okay. Got it. So insightful.
Is it?
No, it really is.
Darwinism, right?
No. It's like, I think what you're doing, at least for me, I don't know if anybody else is getting it. It's like there's so much buildup of like how you're supposed to be,
Yeah.
but that's not really what you want or how anybody thinks.
No.
But
And also, it's not real.
yeah, but you're just breaking it down. Yeah.
That's fair enough.
Yeah.
Now let's move on to number 3. Number 3 was making passing sexual comments or passing comments where you view her as a sexual being,
A potential.
a potential sexual partner, but you view her as a sexual being,
Okay.
right?
You view her as a sexual being that's maybe a potential partner.
That's a potential partner for you. Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So that one, this is highly situational, and I hate this because I cannot tell you what to do, and I can't tell any of you what to do in this situation because it's so dependent on the situation, on your style, on how you're calibrated, on what kind of system you're running.
The examples
All
are very
of
varied.
this. Exactly. So here's the thing is that the things that I would use for this purpose are different from the things that Paul would use for this purpose, are different from the things that Rich would use for this purpose.
So what do all of them have in common?
All of them make clear in one way or another that I view you as a sexual being, and there is at least a potential for us to bang.
So you see a girl, she has nice she has nice tits, and you just notice the way she's leaning over.
Bro, wait, were you out this was maybe like 3-4 weeks ago, whenever we first met Bella and her friend.
Yeah, I was. Yeah.
Yeah, you were there that night. What did I call her friend? I called her titties.
Yeah,
I called her titties. You know why? because she was wearing a low-cut shirt and a necklace that literally had an arrow pointing down to her titties.
Yeah, she didn't like that.
No, she did not like that.
Yeah.
However, at that point I was being obnoxious, and I knew I was being obnoxious, like
Right.
because especially whenever I'm out there with a group of guys like that, my goal is to make sure that everybody is having fun, but also then to degrade myself so much that I can't possibly steal one from anyone.
Okay.
Like I want to give everybody else the best possible opportunity.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Got it.
So I was intentionally being obnoxious and obstinate and like fine. But here's the thing is that the reason she hated it was because she knew I was right. Because I called her out on exactly what it was.
Right.
Now, if you wanted to be less obnoxious, the way that you would do that is be like, oh, I like your necklace. Is that meant to point to your belly button? Right? Like you would point it out, but play with it. Right? Now, it's so fucking clear. She knows you're looking at her tits. You know that you're looking at her tits. Everybody knows. That's why she wore that shirt. That's why she wore the necklace, isn't it? Right? Like, so, okay, play with it. Right? Have fun with that. But, so that would be a completely non-sexual comment. That comment that I just made can be part of a Disney movie without losing the G rating. But it's still a sexual comment.
Right. I see what you're saying.
So you can make more overt sexual comments, like I said earlier, about like the skirt makes your ass look great kind of thing. You can do that. You can make playful joking comments. You can make comments. You can be like, no, that's obnoxious. Can't do that. I'll tell you what I was just thinking. It's like if you're flirting with a girl and she's like a little bit older, like the lady here, be like, by the way, how old are you? Like 34, 35? She's like, oh no. Like I'm 45, and you're like, wow. I mean, I didn't even know it, but hey, good news is you're still fertile. Hey, really obnoxious. Maybe a bridge too far there. Maybe a bridge too far, but only just. That's because I pushed the line enough that I know where the line is.
Right.
Like I know it's just on the other side of the line. If she and I already had chemistry, we'd already been flirting, I might drop that one in.
Right. Just because the rapport is there.
The rapport is already there, and she's gonna know. It's like oh god damn it, no, why would you say that?
Right,
oh my god, I'm like fine.
Yeah.
So you can play with that a bit. Again, it really depends on the situation, depends on your style, depends on your rapport with the girl, depends on how she's reacting to other things. But the point is, she should know without a question that 1, you're on a date, 2, you have zero interest in being friends, and 3, you view her as a sexual being.
Okay.
Now, if she knows number 3, then number 1 and 2 are obvious. If she knows that you view her as a sexual being, then she knows friends is off the table and you're definitely on a date, right?
Yeah.
Like by default.
Right.
So that's why I use that as the point.
Okay. Got it.
She needs to know that, feel that, sense that, get that from your aura, from your words, doesn't matter. I don't care how you get it across to her.
When you say friends, you just mean platonic.
I will never be friends with a girl.
Yeah, got it.
Like there are girls who I can get along with and not have sex with. Those are called my friends' girlfriends, right? But here's the thing: second that my friend breaks up with those girls, I'm not talking to them.
Yeah, I'd say I'm the same.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like, so here's the thing: I have friends for days. I have friends that have been in Korea with me for over 10 years. I have a community of 100 dudes who I can talk to, who I can hang out with, who I can, tell anything.
Right.
I don't have space in my life for another fucking friend.
Yeah.
Right? That roster's already filled up.
Yeah.
However, I do have space in my bed. So Are you in or out? Right? Like,
Right.
I mean, I'm not.
No, I know what you're
You
saying.
know, like,
Yeah.
and you could be more crude with it, and you could be like, oh, you're interested in friends. Well, I'm so sorry, but like my roster for friends is full up right now. However, I do have an in spot in my weekly blowjob roster. Right? Like you could,
Yeah.
you could
Yeah.
like, but again, it depends on your style, it depends on your personality, it depends on what vibe you're getting across to her, it depends
Right.
on what kind of girl you're meeting, what kind of relationship you're looking
Yeah.
for, all that, right? All that. So, she, love you, Coot. She has nice tits, but does she have long hair? My man, absolutely. Also, the lady who's working here does not have long hair, but I do like her hairstyle. She has great tits. Let's see here. We missed a few. There's Jake. Yeah, you'll have to rewind. She hasn't responded since. I think I might have blown it in the end. I talked to her today. We had class. I will message you either tonight after the stream or tomorrow, because I'm not gonna air this thing on the stream. I would literally always sit side by side, even in restaurants. Once the waitress got upset about it and made us sit face to face. Okay, awesome, right?
Yeah, that's good.
But here's the thing: like you should absolutely always do that. Or here's a better idea: find places that have actual fucking chairs that you can manipulate and move around, because booths can work in the right situation. However, the right situation is room bars. Have you ever been to a room bar?
No.
So they have these
Oh yeah.
different bars
Yeah,
around
yeah.
where it's like private room, and
Right,
you sit
right.
there and you just order on the little
Right,
computer.
right.
They bring shit up, but the rooms, the door closes. Like the window is just like that frosted glass.
There's one right over here, actually.
Perfect.
Yeah.
But what? And you're not using that for dates.
Is that a good place for dates?
I fucked in those. I got kicked out of one and I got banned because I was fucking in it. They had cameras in it and I didn't realize. Well, that's what you get for trying to fuck in a room bar in downtown Homegate.
Okay.
But this one might not, right? Because you're not in Homegate.
Okay.
Who knows? Who knows? However, that's a really good place for dates because it's so private and intimate, and you can sit side by side, and you can sit like up to
So in
each
that
other.
room, you would just immediately sit beside her.
Yeah, like here's what I would do is I would do the same thing that I do whenever I'm getting into a text, which is I'd pull the door open and be like, "Oh, go on in," and then whichever side she chooses, I just follow into that side.
Yeah.
And then
just own it.
Yeah, and then just absolutely own it.
Yeah.
And if she says something like, "Oh, why'd you sit here and not across?" I wanted to sit closer to you.
Yeah.
Sit, right?
Yeah.
Like, no apologies, no questions.
So if you felt like she was tense because of that, you would probably slow down a little
I
bit?
would slow down, but I would not move, and I would
Right,
not
yeah,
apologize.
that's what I was thinking.
I would not apologize. I would not move, but I would maybe slow it down, or I would address this is gonna shake. Yeah.
Didn't take that much.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
I would address the underlying concern. Be like, "Hey, you look nervous. What's up? What's going on? Are you okay?"
Yeah.
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 You know what always helps me? Because I'm a musician, sometimes like I get nervous before a performance, especially if it's my first time performing a song. What always helps me before a performance to calm my nerves is a quick shot of whiskey. So
Yeah.
I have an idea.
Yeah.
I have
I
an
was gonna
idea,
say that.
right?
You were
Like,
gonna say that.
yeah, exactly. Of course you did, because it's the most natural next thing to do, isn't it?
Right.
The most natural thing. So of course we're gonna have it.
Yeah.
And then even if she's like, "Oh, I don't like whiskey," then you're like, "Okay, here's the thing. There are two types of people in the world: people who like whiskey and people who like Jaeger because they don't like whiskey. So,
Right.
which one is your choice?
Right.
Right? And then it doesn't matter which what liquor you put in it.
Yeah.
The result is still decided,
Right.
which is we are taking a shot of bad idea.
Right.
And which bad idea do you prefer? All right, let's keep looking. She has nice tits, but does she have long hair? Gotcha. Let me know. I will do that, Jake. I'll message you. Me and Angel have the perfect bar with only side by side seats next to our places in Daejeon. It's been very much our spot. Okay, good. So when you go in there, now you say side by side seats. Is it like at a bar where you have to sit kind of facing forward and then kind of angled to each other? Because this can work. This can work where you're both kind of angled in a bit, but better is better is like this right here.
Yeah.
Now this is really aggressive. Right? Like this is really forward.
Right.
But this is better. Now, if I'm here, that's the same, but it doesn't feel as aggressive.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And so this just feels like natural, normal. We're just sitting here talking so that we can eye to eye without having to like twist our necks.
Right.
She asks something about it, be like, I'm fucking old. What do you think I need? More neck problems? Come on, get the fuck out of here.
Right.
Of course I'm gonna sit so I can talk to you straight away.
Right.
These mosquitoes are insane. But if you're sitting side by side at a bar and you're both bodies angled in towards each other, that is a good sign. Now, we can always turn it up because there's no such thing as the perfect situation until your dick's inside her. So,
Yeah.
I mean, right?
Yeah.
So, figure out, like, okay, cool, how can we optimize this situation? It might be an excellent situation. Great. How can we improve on it? How can we make it even better? How can we add more to it?
I've said a lot there about like different ways of doing different things and the mindset. But my last question is, given you've said all of that, right? Everything you said about escalating, sitting closely, touching her right away, seeing her as a sexual being and a prospective, sexual partner for you.
Sure.
That you're judging, you're grading, you're thinking about. You don't have to, but maybe you will, right?
She's auditioning.
Yeah, she's auditioning. But she is a sexual partner. What's one thing that's always, and I'm asking this for me, but I'll phrase it this way. Well, I'll ask it for me, but what's one thing I can do on every date? What's one goal I should have for every date that is 100% in my control?
Ooh, that's 100% in your control.
Yeah.
I'm assuming
She might not, she might not be down.
So
Might, whatever,
this is a date with a girl who you talked to before. You may not have met in person before, but you've at least talked.
We've exchanged maybe 6 or 7 messages.
Good enough. You've spoken to one another.
Yeah.
Your absolute number one goal is to, within the first 30 seconds, first 15 seconds of meeting her, you need to at least hug, probably kiss on the cheek.
Really?
And that's entirely in your control. Because here's the thing, is when you do that, you are testing her temperature to like, where is she? Is she aware that this is a date? Because sometimes you can even say, let's have our date this time. And they won't fucking view it as a date, right?
Yeah.
So you walk in, you are owning it. This is a date. I am here with you as a man and a woman. Now where it goes from here. But here's the thing, is that like, if a girl's not interested in anything, she has no physical attraction to you, it's better to find that out within the first 15 seconds than 2.5 hours later and a $90 bill, right?
Okay. So what would you say is a good end goal date? End goal for the date?
Depends on the situation. I really can't, like, depends on the type of girl, depends on what kind of relationship you're looking for, it depends on depends on you.
If you're trying to be sexual.
You're trying to hook up and you're filtering 4 girls who want to hook up. Then the good end goal is hook up, right?
But you don't always control that.
No, you can't control that.
So?
But here's the thing, is you can't control the end of the day. All you're controlling is about 60 to 70% of the variables leading up to the end of the day.
Right.
But the end of the date is ultimately her decision.
Right.
There is
I agree.
nothing you can do to control
I
the
agree.
end of the date.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So, yeah, you control the parts that you can. Do well with the things that you know what you're doing, and if something happens, you're like, wait a minute, this didn't go as planned. Is this a thing that I can control? Is this a new variable? You'll find new variables that you didn't even know were variables before. And then figure out, okay, cool. How can I, next time, how can I optimize this? What would have been a good move in this moment? And you might not even know. It might just be, here's my hypothesis.
Yeah.
I think this thing would be a better move than what I did here.
Right.
Cool. Let's try it next time.
Yeah.
Let's find out.
Yeah, usually for me, it's definitely don't do that again.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
but that is.
But then that narrows it down a little bit, right?
It does.
Yeah.
I think that when it was Edison, whenever he created the light bulb, they were like, "Oh, you failed like 1,000 times before you created it." He's like, "No, I found 1,000 ways to not make it." Right? Like, and so like that frame on it, which is like, well, I have found thousands of ways to not attract a girl, right? Like, so you figure out, oh, that absolutely doesn't work. That absolutely doesn't work. That absolutely doesn't work. But I have an idea for how I can change this next time that will help to show this part of my personality better, or that will be more attractive, or that will be more funny, or that will be more playful, or whatever. Right? Like you're always optimized because there's no, like, nobody's 100%. You're not ever finished. You know, like, just eventually you get to a point where success as you view it in the start is nearly a foregone conclusion.
Right.
And now the question becomes, how is she going to entertain me? Because if once you've been on more than 100 dates, you've talked about the same things. I know the exact right answer to a girl if she says, "Oh, do you speak Korean?" Then, like, I know the exact right answer that works every fucking time, and you can see exact same reaction every single time. How do I know that? Because I tried 50 ways that didn't work. Right. And so, like, okay, I know the answer to all of the questions that a girl is going to ask me on a date because I have
the reps.
I've done basically, like, did you ever see the movie Edge of Tomorrow?
Yeah.
Like I've done Edge of Tomorrow, but for dates, where like I've literally fucked every single thing up, and then I tried 30 different ways until I found one that worked, and then like, okay, go on to the next step.
That's a funny analogy.
Right?
Yeah.
And so because of that, like, whenever you see me give examples, like earlier, and you're like, how are you so calibrated? How does, like, everything that I say or every objection that I give you, you know the answer to it? It's like, right, because I did 50 times.
Right.
Then I found one, and then it worked, and then I tried it again, and I tried it again and again, and like it works every time.
Right.
So back to the dating thing, where, like, not that I'm going on dates now, but when I was, before I was married, but after I was calibrated and knew what I was doing, it became very much a, can you please be different? Can you please entertain me in some way? Can you please show me qualities? Can you please show me parts of yourself that I don't normally see? Can you please laugh at the wrong times? Can you please ask questions that I'm not expecting?
Right.
How are you going to entertain me?
Right.
Because I know how to entertain you fucking perfectly.
Yeah. Interesting.
And just in case you or anybody else was wondering, no, Lady North did not have good game. She was just really fucking cool and very patient and literally fit everything that I was looking for. But she did not entertain me on our date, right? Like that was not. But the entertain me on the date bit is not for the high quality women. Because if a girl has good game, she's probably not a high quality woman, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's a different situation altogether.
I gotta piss. Where was the?
I literally just straight through. You can't miss it. You can't miss it. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, lads. So I still have a little bit of beer. You know what? For those of you who showed up a little bit late today, we're gonna do a belated cheers for chaps. Cheers with chaps. Whatever we fucking call it. I don't remember. But if you have yourself a beverage vessel, and if you're ready for this, you have to already be ready. I'm not waiting for you. Lift your glasses in happiness and revelry with me now as we have a second cheers with chaps. Cheers! 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 Do you want to say hi? Say hi. Hi. What's your name?
Nabi.
Hyunso. Hyunso? Yeah. Okay, Hyunso. Hi, what?
Nabi.
Nabi. It's lovely to meet you. I'm Jack. Yes.
Oh,
Jack.
nice to meet you.
Hyunso, nice to meet you. Y'all seem cool as hell. You drinking beer?
Oh, yeah.
Or are you drinking soju?
Soju.
Oh, it's too strong for me.
Yeah.
Tomorrow morning, you're going to have a hangover. Be careful.
Yeah.
All right, y'all have fun. Now is your chance to ask questions of me because we've been going for 2.5 hours. Jesus. Okay. Well, I'm surprised that we're still this sober and Copus Mentis after 2.5 hours, but hey. So for those of you who are still watching, let's go through these. Groundhog Day for dates. That's exactly fucking right, Coot. She did babysit your drunk ass. That's correct. That was so. On our first date, we met on a Friday night, and I wasn't exactly sure what I was dealing with her, and so I tried to pull her back home, and she refused. Like laughed and refused. She's like, "What? No, like I'm not. Why would I go back to your place? That's not a thing that's happening." Okay, cool. Now I understand better. But this is an important thing for guys to realize: is that a girl will never punish you. She'll never be angry at you for trying for sex. She'll never be mad about it because everybody knows men try for sex. This is part of the deal. But that was the Friday night. And then I said, okay, that's fine. Like, you're not coming back with me, no problem. But what are you doing tomorrow? She said, oh, I have plans to meet with my English study group. And I said, you know what? You know what's even better than an English study group? Is hanging out with a bunch of native English speakers all day long. Tomorrow's St. Patrick's Day. Have you ever heard of St. Patrick's Day? And she's like, what? No, I don't know. I don't know what that is. So listen, it's a big celebration about Ireland. Yeah, the history doesn't really matter. It's all actually kind of horseshit anyway, but whatever. We all just get together and we get drunk all day long. So they have a big party every year down at Shindarim. And you should, come on in.
Yeah.
And you should absolutely come and join us for that because that's the best way to practice your English is to hang out with me and a bunch of other English speakers. And then, as soon as we arrived, my friends and I pulled out bottles, plural, of whiskey, started passing them around, getting fucked up. We just had bags full of beers, too, just like backpacks, absolutely loaded up. We were just getting messed up all day long. I think throughout the whole day, she had something like 2 beers. And then she spent the entire day babysitting me and all of my drunk ass friends. And then the next morning when I woke up and I was like, oh, you're still here? After everything you did yesterday, and like, you're not pissed? She's like, you guys were fucked up. Like, I took care of you. Like, oh, you're my girlfriend now. And she was like, wait, I'm sorry, what? Like, we've only known each other for 2 days. I thought that, like, in America, they, like, got to know each other for a long time before they said, like, you're my girlfriend. And I was like, well, yeah, but I already know you. You took care of me and all my friends yesterday. So, you're my girlfriend now. She's like, don't you think that you should, like, ask me if I want to? And I was like, well, no. Why? I don't understand. Why would I do that? She's like, okay, you know what? Fine, fuck it. We're on board. And that is the story of how Lady North and I first started dating. Yes, cheers. Cheers to you. We had a belated cheers with chaps while you were gone.
Oh, okay. Missed that one.
It's okay, because they all missed the first one. One of the best streams this year, to be honest. Really, I have no idea why, but I'm glad to hear it. I mean, we've just been kind of
Talking.
drunk, rambling, and shooting the shit for 2.5 hours. It's been 2.5 hours.
Jesus.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What were the signs you saw that really made you want to leave a date early? Okay, I've got a fun one for this. Back in the early days when Tinder first became a thing in Korea, it had already been a thing in the West, but they didn't have it in Korea for a while. So, like within the first couple of months of it opening up in Korea, I ended up on a date with some fucking 6 or whatever.
Okay.
And whatever, we went down to Itaewon to go have chicken and beer, and we met up there, and we didn't mesh at all.
Right.
We didn't even mesh well in the messages. I just went because I was thirsty.
Right.
And you know, like we've all been there where you're like, I don't know, I'm horny, and a chance at pussy is better than sitting at home with the hub. Right, and the hub didn't even exist back then either, right?
Jesus.
Or if it did, I don't know. I didn't know about it.
Okay.
Anyway, so went out to go meet this girl, and we're sitting there. We're having some chicken, and we're both like 2 beers in, and she's like, she just cracks up laughing at nothing, right? Like there's like a lull in the conversation. She just cracks up laughing,
Okay.
and I'm like, okay, all right, cool, like. Chill with the class, right? What's funny?
Right.
And she's like, you know, I only came out here because I just wanted a free dinner. And like, man, this is the best free dinner that I've had in a while. And I was like, oh, yeah, that's really funny, right? Like,
Yeah.
Cool. So, like, you have no intention of seeing me again after this. She's like, nah, I'm absolutely just here for the free dinner, and then like we're probably just gonna go our ways afterwards. And I was like, oh, okay, that's really cool. Like I totally get it. I understand. I'm gonna go to the bathroom. I'll be right back. And I just got up and left. So she ended up stuck with the bill. So that's a huge red flag. If the girl says the quiet part out loud, that's a huge red flag. The same way that like a guy can't go on a Tinder date and then just start laughing in the middle of it and be like, I'm just here because I thought you might suck good dick. Right? Like you can't, it might be true, but you can't say that part. You can't say the quiet part out loud. We all know the rules. It's society, right?
Yeah.
That's the
So
thing.
after that date, she learned a very good job.
Thank you.
Very valuable lesson.
Don't say the quiet part out loud.
Don't say the quiet part out loud.
It can be true. Like that's fine.
Man,
I wouldn't even have, I would not have been angry if we had hung out for the night, had dinner, we didn't hook up, and then we just never saw each other again. It would have just been one in the list of many, right?
yeah.
But
If there's like a girl game,
got
where
another 2 in a row. I'm almost to the tic-tac-toe. Maybe I'll get it this time.
there's websites for girls on how to get free meals from guys.
I don't know about
no
that
commitment.
Far. I don't know about that far,
I
but
just want meals and I don't want to commit to the guy.
meals and heels. Meals and heels. That's our new service. We're gonna start teaching women how to scam dudes out of free dinners and drinks.
Yeah.
We're gonna call it meals and heels.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Let's lean in on that one. Kissuru Mogneo. Thank you. Jisei Cole. Thank you. You're having my kisses? I'm very glad to hear it. Okay. Love that story. I'm glad you like it, Angel. You know, that the worst thing is that that's not even my worst first date. Like
I've had some pretty funny first dates.
it's in the bottom 10, but it's not in the bottom 5, right? Like I've had some fucking absolute ragers.
Yeah.
I had one who brought her dad to the first date, and then they tried to get me to come to their church for the free buffet.
What's wrong with that?
Well, like, that's a great question.
They just had excellent frame. That was all. Did you go?
3 in a row. I finally got it.
Oh my
Damn
god!
it. Miss number 4
I'm gonna have 100 mosquito bites.
Dude, and like me too. They're on my feet and my legs too as well. Anyway, fucking what else is on your mind? We have seriously, so like the rain is kind of slowing down, so this is going to be
Okay, that's fair.
we can still hang out, but I'm leaving the fucking mosquito nest after
I
this.
work tomorrow too.
Oh, you fag. Lol fag. The story of the cult on your blog. Yes, that's exactly right, Kurt. It is on my blog as the weirdest first date ever. That's the title of the post. I wrote up the full story of that one.
That is a good subject on a date, though. What's the worst date you've had?
So especially if you meet a girl on a dating app, you can ask her like, "What's your worst Bumble experience so far?"
Yeah.
So far, because we need to leave room for shit to get even worse.
Tonight.
Yeah.
Actually, I think it was last week. I had a girl. She was describing the date we had as the worst date.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
But it was because I was.
We need sleep here. Lol fag.
I was a little bit too aggressive. Not calibrated.
Jesus, there are so many of them.
So I had a date in Canada where I found out the girl had an abortion 2 days earlier.
Well, the good news is she can't get pregnant right now.
Yeah. and so the version I tell to girls is that I found out she had an abortion 2 days earlier, and then later I found out she was like two months sober on meth.
Oh God.
Which was true. That was all true. But the part I leave out was that I actually pulled her back. Because I think what girls want to hear is that, oh, I ended the date. That was too weird for me.
Show me those meth teeth. Yeah. I'll let those on my dick. Right? Like, come on. It's fucking weird.
We made out, but that was as far as she wanted to go.
Okay.
But yeah. Yeah, she was weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Like this sounds like an episode of the Trailer Park Boys, man.
But honestly, what was weird about her was that my first impression of her was totally different.
Really?
Because she was like this vegan girl who.
Okay, that's red flag. Go on. I'm just gonna say the words red flag whenever I hear one.
Okay.
Got it.
I'm not vegan in Korea, but back in Canada I was.
Red flag.
Okay, I don't care. So there's sometimes when you meet someone and you can just tell that this is a very empathetic person.
Red flag.
If red flag.
Absolutely.
Why?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because like people who like they oh god damn it, mosquitoes. There's so fucking many of them.
Why is that a red flag?
Because look. Whenever you're talking to someone and you're like, oh wow, you're really empathetic, you care. That means you care about people that you shouldn't care about. That's literally what empathy means, right? You have feelings about things that are none of your fucking business. That's what empathy is.
Okay, I don't see it that
Red
way.
flag.
I don't see it that way.
Calling it flag.
But anyway, so it was just
Fine, maybe yellow.
you know, like the same energy, like you meet an old lady and she's just so nice. She's just like, oh, this is like
Betty White.
not somebody who's trying to screw people over.
My dream date. Betty White.
So that was actually the vibe I had from her. It's like this girl would never screw somebody over.
Except for her unborn baby. But have a good night. Dunsaw. Nabby, have a good night. Nabby, pop quiz. What's my name? Good girl. Yeah. Party on, Lane.
Have a nice day.
You too.
You talked to them while I was gone?
Why wouldn't I?
I don't know.
Right? Like,
I don't remember them coming by, but
yeah, no, yeah, they came by while you were
I see.
indisposed.
So anyway, she was just 3 drinks in. She was totally different.
Red flag.
Yeah, yeah. Anyway, thank you.
Damn it! He had good reflexes. Sorry.
Yeah, it's all good.
Anything else? Are we going to keep going? Because I'm
I'm done.
down for like red flags.
You want to talk about red flags?
What I want to do is I want to get out of the mosquito alley, and then we can continue talking about red flags. But
I'm done. I
okay,
got this much left.
okay, all right, that's fair enough. Gents, I think that this is where we're going to go ahead and
No vegan.
end it. Let's real quick before we. Oh, come on. Okay, hold on a minute. I'll get to you in a minute. Worst forwards on during a worst first date question. It became non-consensual.
Okay.
I don't know what that's referring to, and I completely disavow. Okay, next. I stopped her there, and I was like, I don't want to know that. Okay, good. So you also didn't know what the fuck it was about, and also immediately disavowed. Right, good job.
Yeah.
Well done, Coot. No vegan. No vegan. I'm pretty much with you there. And you know, the weird thing is it's not because like there's anything wrong with being vegan.
Mm-hmm.
It's just because the only people who are vegan are just the fucking worst people.
I agree.
Right? Like they're so fucking annoying.
I agree. Yeah.
You know, it's like
Actually, the most annoying girl I've been on a date with was vegan. Yeah.
red flag. Let me guess, she was sympathetic.
No.
No. Okay, well, yellow flag then. Fine. Now, Jake wants to hear about the red flags. Do you want to do red flags?
Okay. You go first.
Okay, but I'm gonna get another beer. All right, how about we grab one and we'll
go quick.
we'll both work on it.
Okay.
Or you want to get two and drink quick?
Go one.
Go one and split it. See how we're feeling.
Okay.
Okay, good. Let's see if I can get her attention. Hey.
I don't know if you guys have ever been with a vegan, but their bodies are different. And I was you've never slept with a vegan, have you?
Not to the best of my knowledge.
Okay. Their bodies are different. Their bodies are very different. It's like
If I had the option, if it was like realistically viable here, I would have only taken girls on dates to go drink mead so that I could find out if they were vegan or not.
is meat not vegan?
Mead is made of honey.
Oh well, some people don't care.
And those aren't vegans. Those are less annoying versions.
Okay.
They might still be annoying, but at least I could filter out the most annoying ones at the beginning.
Interesting. Okay.
It's like we're gonna go out
So,
and have meat and omelets.
The girl from last week was vegan,
Mm-hmm. Okay.
and that was actually the first vegan girl I've slept with. I've been on a few dates with vegans, but she was the first.
Oh, thank you. I love you. By the way, I really like your shirt. It's nice. High five. Boom.
She's gonna put on the apron again.
Yeah, she was shaking her rump on the way back.
Was she?
Oh,
Really?
she knew what's up.
That's funny.
Maybe because now her husband is back to washing dishes and not paying attention. She's a little bit shy earlier when he was out and about with us.
Interesting.
Mm.
Interesting.
Well, anyway, go on.
Their bodies are different.
Yes, meat is.
They're like a girl's fat is like the same as your fat, but a vegan's fat is like very watery.
That does not sound healthy.
It was weird. Yeah.
Do there? So wait,
it was
that
weird.
must mean that they have like weirder, saggier tits.
No, our tits were fine. But I asked my friend about this because he had slept with like a few vegans before me. I was like, "Hey, did you notice like vegan girls' bodies feel different?" And he was like, "Yeah, actually, I did." It's like, what's with that?
Well,
so we thought it was
young
like
Brandon,
protein.
we call it roast beef curtains.
We thought it was protein deficiency, maybe. I don't know.
I can help with that.
I don't know. I was vegan for a while, and I'm not really lacking. So,
Serious question: are vegans allowed to swallow cum?
You should ask that on a vegan forum.
I feel like it's not quite clever enough to be something that I've only come up with, right? Like I'm sure somebody else has. That's
No,
a way
of
to
course
get
not.
instant banned,
Yeah.
and like, but that's instant bans are fun because trolling is always fun, but it still wouldn't give me the answer. I'm more interested in the answer.
I've heard like every single joke you could hear.
Mm.
It's like the only meat she'll take is meat is my meat sort of thing.
Now let's see here. I dated a vegan and it was a pain. Yeah, probably. Wait, hold up. Hey. Okay.
Meat is amazing.
Mead. Damn it. This UI is so bad. Meat is amazing. Meat is amazing. I love meat. I'm a big fan. Only protein they get is cum. Hey, well, looks like I'm not the only one to have the thought and make
No,
the
no,
joke,
no.
right?
Yeah.
This is not nearly as clever as I thought it was.
No, I've heard that one before.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think the funny thing is, like I've been vegetarian for. I'm not vegetarian now, but before I came to Korea, I was vegetarian for 6 years, and it surprised everybody because when people look at me, they just assume,
All your friends have tattoos on their faces.
yeah, all my friends have tattoos on their faces. So I'm not the vegan guy, but
I really like that characterization, by the way.
yeah. I don't know where she got that idea from.
I would lean into it.
Yeah, I think so.
You know what? In fact, I would change my Tinder bio to just say that. All my friends have tattoos on their faces. like, and like that's it. Nothing else.
I thought that was a compliment when she said that.
Well, it is a filterment,
Okay.
right? So like it's a compliment, but it's filtering, right? Like
Mhm.
you're filtering for what type of girl? Well, the type of girl who wants to go on a date with a dude where she thinks all his friends have tattoos on their face.
But he's okay.
He's okay, but
Yeah. That's what I felt, honestly.
yeah,
Because she was like, I think she's attracted to the fuck boy, but she doesn't.
but
She wants the guy who's like
she doesn't want a murdering fuckboy. She just wants like a
fuck boy who agrees with her on some things.
fuckboy who is legally speaking clean. A fuckboy with a clean police record. That's really what we're looking for here. Hi, more.
So, practical advice though
Yeah.
is one thing I've realized for online profiles is lean into looking like a fuckboy as much as possible. It gets way better results. So I on my profile, I have a shirt where I'm wearing a jean jacket that has rips in it,
Okay.
and I'm not wearing a shirt underneath it.
Okay.
And I have a
So you
chain.
look like a biker gang reject,
Yeah,
and that works.
yeah. But that's what girls want.
The guys who are too nice for the biker gangs, but so bad that they tried to apply for it. Right? Like,
Well, so they want to see that, oh, this is like, I don't know, like this is like not a normal guy. This is like a bad boy. But then if they keep flipping through the pictures, it's like, oh, here's a picture of him with a nice smile. He seems like a nice person.
oh, that's him and
Okay.
his grandmother. Oh my God, it's Betty White. He's on a date with Betty White. Oh, I'm so jealous.
Right.
That's
So it's like you establish first the frame of like, oh, this guy sleeps around or can sleep around.
yeah.
Yeah. And then, oh, but he's actually kind of a nice guy too.
So wait, in that story you just told,
Mhm.
I can't tell it's because I'm drunk or because you didn't answer the question.
Hmm.
What was the red flags?
For
Was it
what?
was it vegan? We went on to the topic of red flags. That's literally why
Vegan's a
we ordered
yellow
another
flag for
beer.
me, actually.
Vegan's a yellow flag. Okay,
Okay, even though I'm vegan, when a girl says she's vegan, it's a yellow flag.
okay.
Because I've been on enough dates with them where it's like,
So then,
you're probably an extremist.
you're right.
Yeah.
So, what's a red flag for you?
For what? Like if I'm hooking up or just relationship or just anything?
Let's start with hooking up.
She was on a date earlier that day.
Yeah, that's a big one, right? I feel like that one's right up there with like, oh, don't mind me, I just need to take my AZT, right? Like,
Yeah.
I need to take my AIDS meds or some weird shit. Like, no, never mind. I think I'm good.
But to be honest, like if I'm going for a hookup, I really don't care. It takes a lot for me to say, you know what? You're hot and everything, but no.
It
I don't think that even is possible.
it's
like
it actually doesn't take much for me.
Oh really?
Like, I get if I get, because I've like I said earlier, like I'm more interested in how can a girl entertain me? How can she be new, different, something fun, something interesting?
Well, yeah, okay.
Right? And
I think you're just that far ahead.
Well, no,
Yeah.
that's fine, right?
Yeah.
But like, there is a girl who I'm not gonna name names, but she regularly hangs around some of the bars that I regularly go to, and she has a huge tattoo of the Jägermeister deer on her tits. Not like on her stomach and then like the horns come up to her tits, but like across her chest.
Right.
And so every time she's out, you can see it.
Right.
To me, that's a massive red flag. I'm like super uninterested. But here's the thing: she's really hot, really good looking, very attractive girl. Also, even if I were single, there is
Why?
a 0% chance
Why?
that I want anything to do with her.
Why?
Because to me, like, and maybe this is how I got numbers as high as I have. And like, I'm not gonna say numbers on live on the internet, but I got numbers as high as I have with less than fastidious condom usage and have come out clean on the other end. Right.
I got you.
And so like because I'm not interested in a girl who looks like her breath smells of chlamydia. Right? Like I'm not interested. I'm not interested in learning all of the different colors that a pussy can be, right? Like I don't want to see like that disease shit.
Yeah.
You know, I just avoid it. Now, would it be easy? Yeah. Would it be fun? I mean, it wouldn't be easy at this point because I have done so much damage to that particular girl, like to my relationship with her, not to her person. But
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
you know what I mean? Like you see that girl or one like her, and you're like, okay, cool. I know exactly what to do. I know exactly how to run this. I know what to do. I don't want to. No, thank you. And you just run the other way. So for me, large visible tattoos are a massive red flag. Unnatural hair color in a way that it cannot possibly be excused as highlights is a massive red flag. Like, I'm not mad at a girl who gets, like,
so blonde hair.
No. Unnatural colors.
Hey.
Yeah, pink.
Why? Why is that a red
Pink
flag?
as like full on hair.
Why?
Now, like,
so I'm not used to that because
Yeah.
that's not common in Canada, so I don't know what that means here.
well, to me, The way I look at it is, if there's a girl who has her tongue pierced, she'll probably suck your dick. If there's a guy who has his tongue pierced, he'll probably suck your dick too.
Mm.
People get certain things for reasons, right?
Okay.
So, as a general rule, the men who grow a beard have one of two reasons for growing a beard. One, I want to
Religious
look.
reasons.
Well, okay, fine. One of three reasons. One is religious. Two, I want to look older than I appear by my clean shaven face.
Okay. Okay.
And three is I want to hide a weak chin. So
Oh, interesting.
let's take number one out because number two and three are actually choices.
Okay.
Number one is not a choice.
Okay.
Not realistic, right?
Okay.
So if we understand the reasons why a man would grow a beard, we say, okay, cool. See a guy with a beard. One of these two things is most likely true. I'm sorry, I got some.
Swallowed a mosquito.
Got some peanut jizz
Mm.
in my.
I'm sorry.
Well, you know, it happens. Drinking with a fuckboy on a Thursday night. I don't know what you expect. So, if we understand that, then we know that one of these two things is most likely true. Is there a possible other explanation? Absolutely. But most likely, it's one of these two. He wants to appear older or he wants to hide a weak jawline. Okay, cool. So, then what is the impetus? What is the reason for a girl to dye her hair pink?
Yeah, I have no idea.
I can think of two things. One is she wants to dress up as Harley Quinn for Halloween.
Okay.
I accept it.
Okay.
Fine.
Okay.
Number two, she wants more attention.
Or she wants to appear different, maybe.
Which is
Attention.
attention, right? Like, so yes, you're correct, but also, right? Like, it breaks down to attention.
Okay.
Now, if we understand that, what does attention look like to girls who tend to dye their hair pink? Attention usually comes in the form of free drinks and free dip.
Mm.
So, I see a girl with pink hair. My assumption is, just like the girl with the tongue ring, she'll probably suck your dick.
Mm.
Highlights are one thing. Highlights can be, I want you to notice me, but I don't want you to pay attention to me. They can be, depending on how they're done, right? So highlights are one thing, but dyeing your hair pink, blue, purple, unnatural colors that do not appear in
the gene. Normal gene
humanity.
sequencing.
I swear I'm not dying, but it fucking sounds like I am. Blonde hair Korean girls are a downgrade. Dude, shut the fuck up. You watched last week's stream too. You know as well as I do that can fucking work. All right? But I do agree that it is. It is a bit of a downgrade. Yeah,
Alright.
usually it is. But anyway, so like there are physical signs that to me act as instant red flags.
Okay.
What else is a red flag for you?
For me, she's texting on her phone during a date.
Texting on her phone during a date.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I thought you said during the day, and I was like, okay, well then, sorry, bro. Like,
I only like the
every
Amish
girl's
women.
out. Yeah.
Amish women, that's it. Now I remember one girl did that, so I started flirting with the bartender.
Nice, nice,
She didn't like that.
solid moves. Solid moves. I appreciate it. That's good.
Oh, another one. She's been on She's been using the apps for over a year.
That's awfully generous of you.
Generous?
A year?
Okay, even less than that.
Right, like that's what I mean. Like that's generous of you to be like a year.
Well,
Okay, cool. So
okay. There's a
moving.
little bit. Okay, there's discretion here. So I can understand she's been on it for a year
Uh-huh.
and she's bisexual and she just likes fucking. It's like I get it. I understand.
But doesn't that come off as like as a red flag by itself? Like you can understand it. I can understand a lot of things, and then be like, right, but also that's still a huge red flag to me.
I mean, guys do it.
Yeah, but I don't fuck guys, so I don't care. We both know that the standards for men and women are not the same. And anybody who tries to claim like all about equality, like that's a ridiculous.
To be honest, it doesn't. It's like a minus point, but it's not a red flag.
So yellow flag.
Depends what I'm going for. If I'm just trying to hook up,
it might be a green flag if you're like, listen, I just want to get my dick sucked sometime in the next 20 minutes or so. Yeah, and that's a green flag.
Yeah, I mean,
right?
it's like, okay, you're sexually active. That's fine.
Yeah.
If there's a red flag version of that, if she's been on the app for a year and she's looking for her soulmate,
yeah, good fucking one.
she's probably fucked up.
Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
she's been on many dates. You're not the first guy. You're not going to be the last guy.
Or girl.
It's like, I'm just looking for my soulmate. How's that been going over the last year?
Right.
Like, how many normal dudes has she met that she's turned down?
You keep going on these red flags. I'm gonna go for a quick pee.
Anybody else say anything? I don't know how this app works. Yeah, Jay, we're still on here somehow. Too much filters and pics is a red flag. Really? I think I'm okay with that one. Because it's like for me, it's almost socially acceptable that a girl will have filters on her pictures. Actually, there's one. So there's like an angle girls will have when if they're overweight, they'll be very good at hiding that they have like a bigger chin. So they'll have like a lot of pictures where they're like this, and it kind of highlights the jawline, or they'll have their hair like this, and it hides their jawline. I was talking about, I think it was Sabi. He said, too much filters on their pic is a red flag.
It can be, or it can be a flag that they are an intention for. Like the kind of girl who just they live and breathe Instagram stuff. So you never know. That one, it depends on what the pictures are, I think.
What are attention whores like on dates? I'm curious because I'm kind of wondering if one girl I'm seeing is like that.
Generally speaking, attention whores are not very engaging because they're so used to just only being on this side of the camera and only alone.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe like with their friends, but they're not like, their job is to thirst trap a bunch of dudes so that they can sell them, fucking cosmetics and condoms from the fucking sponsors and selling.
Okay.
They don't talk well.
Okay.
They aren't usually very good conversationalists. Attention whores are the types of girls who might actually be interested in you, but still give you one-word responses to things?
In texting or during dates?
Yes.
Both. Okay.
Texting, they're normally a bit better than they are in person, but they're just shit conversationalists overall.
Okay.
Now, attention whores are, they're always interested in being somewhere visually interested. So, like, an attention whore would never let you sit out here for the day, but you're allowed to bring her here as long as you sit at this table so that she can take pictures with the cool chalkboard stuff on the background. Right? Like, her mind is constantly running with how can I take another cool picture?
Okay. I feel like the girls like that, but like divide by 3. Maybe that's fair.
God damn it, these mosquitoes. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. That's interesting.
'Cause I notice whenever I'll take her somewhere and she's just taking pictures of everything. And
If she's taking pictures of herself with everything,
no.
then
Yeah,
she's
okay.
probably not an attention whore.
Okay.
Have you seen her Instagram or Facebook or wherever she posts it?
No, but her TikTok has like 2,000 followers.
Okay, but is it TikToks of her, or is it just of things that she does?
Well, TikTok's usually about you.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
so is Instagram, but have you seen Lady North's Instagram? I don't even know that there's a picture of her on it.
No, I think it's about her.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so it's possible she might be an aspiring attention whore. So, like, she might have the personality, but just not be very good at it.
Mhm.
Right? So, I mean, like I said earlier, the versions that I give and that I described are the concentrated versions.
Right.
She might have all of those same tendencies, but just not be very good at it.
Right.
You know, like,
Right.
because every slut at some point is still a virgin,
Right.
right? Like, even though she has the same tendencies. You get what I mean, right?
Yeah.
Like, so.
I don't know why that's so funny. It's true though.
It is.
Every slut was once a virgin.
Yeah, every slut was once a
So
virgin.
if you want to be a slut, you can too.
Every foreigner lover had a first time meeting a foreigner, right? Like there are a lot of it's more about the personality tendencies than the actual name.
Right.
Because the name is salacious because it gets clicks.
Right.
Right. But actually what it's about the personality type, the types of behaviors and the personality that they possess and the things that they do as a result of that.
Right.
Anyway, red flags. Any more red flags? Did I miss anything? Blonde hair, Korean girls are downgrade. I can't even see that now because I think too many filters. Yeah. Too many filters in pictures. Yeah, we did. Anything else that we need to hit?
Red flags?
Oh,
Extremely high body count.
extremely high body count.
She doesn't know how many partners she's had.
Anytime a girl says, "I don't know, I don't count," yeah,
Yeah. There's like, I don't like to talk about it.
I don't like to talk about it. It's a orange flag. That's yellow, almost red.
Yeah.
But possibly, depending on the
I
circumstance.
think girls in general just don't like talking about it, but when
Of
she
course
doesn't know, she either knows and she's not telling, or she doesn't know because it's extremely high and
Yeah.
she can't even count it.
Yeah.
She
Like,
doesn't know.
I don't know. I lost count after 142.
Yeah.
Like, okay, cool.
Yeah, I remember I asked I asked one girl while she was blowing me. I was just like, seemed like you've been with a lot of guys.
seem like you know your way around it.
She's like, uh-huh. I was like, how many guys have you been with? She's like, oh, I don't know. I'm like,
Enough to know this trick.
yeah. Just tell me, like, okay, but really, ballpark. She's like, I don't know, more than 50? If it's, I don't know, more than 50.
That's a lot of inches of pipe. Oh,
That's several feet.
but this was in Korea, so maybe not. I don't know.
I mean, if you can go a full football field,
Yeah. If you can go a football field, oh my God, that's 300 feet a day. Right, that's 100 yards for 300 feet. Let's call it an average of 6. meaning that would be 600. 600 dudes, like, there's like, oh, there's you, and then there's Riley Reed, and both of you are like, oh, who's gonna cross the touchdown line first? Fuck me. God.
that's a lot. But there's not to judge girls. There's some girls that
Absolutely to judge girls. Absolutely to judge. That's literally what we're talking about here.
It's all women here.
We're talking about red flags. Like, isn't it literally?
No. We're an IT company, and it's okay what your sexual
Wait,
preferences
you're
are.
an IT company?
Yeah.
Manga. What kind of IT company are we? I'm really confused by that.
IT companies are like very accepting of.
Yes,
Doesn't matter who
we are not an IT company.
Or not.
Our community is not an IT company. Our community is really fucking judgmental. It is. And then, you know, the weird thing is, it's totally cool with like all dudes and all types of like guys from all backgrounds. It's really, really open to all different guys, all levels of experience, all that stuff. By the way, if you guys aren't yet part of the community, I assume if you're watching at this point, you definitely are, right? We're over 3 hours in, but just in case, you should know, we're closing down free community signups on Sunday.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we actually are.
Wow.
We're locking it in, and I'm also going to go through it, and I'm going to kick anybody who I don't know personally.
Interesting.
Because we're going to turn it into, you know, like you and I were talking about this the other day.
Yeah, we were.
About making it like a really strict members only kind of area. And so that's what we're going to do is we're going to, now technically the links that I put out before will still work, but everything except for the introductions page will all be locked. And we're going to lock everybody else out unless they either buy one of the courses or they are a paying member. Basically, we're going to lock it behind a paywall, which guarantees no trolls.
Okay.
Right? Because the kinds of people who troll Discords like ours, they don't have money. They have time. They're activists.
Right.
Which means they don't have a job by definition. They have blue hair. Red flag, blue flag, fuck it, whatever. Who gives a shit, man?
Right.
No, we're absolutely locking everybody else out. So if you're watching this and you're not yet a member of the community, you need to get signed up now. And you need to ingratiate yourself as part of the community immediately. Because, like I said, on Sunday, I'm locking it down and I'm going through the list and manually kicking out anybody who I do not know personally, who isn't a contributing member of the community, who isn't talking to people. We're gonna absolutely do a full-on purge. Yeah. We're gonna do a purge.
Good old Russian style.
Good old Russian style. Yep. And then we're gonna Photoshop them out of any pictures they ever took. Good old Russian style. And then we're gonna invite them to Belarus to have a discussion. Good old Russian style. Anyway, I think that with all that said, this is probably where we're going to go ahead and call it. We're at almost 3.5 hours.
Yeah, that's a long one.
Now, before we go, though, I have one last very important question. Did you have fun tonight?
Yeah, this was fun, man.
It's a good time,
Yeah,
right?
this was fun.
Did you guys have fun? The Russian Coot knows something or two about the Russian bird. Did you know that the last guillotine execution in France was like in 1978 or something? Like it's within a lot of people's lifetimes. I'm absolutely in favor of bringing the guillotine back as long as they keep on letting the homos and buzzies run the joint. Anyway, now that is a red flag. Yes, any sort of Russian purges. Yes, hell yeah, absolutely good, really good. I'm glad you guys had fun with it. We're gonna finish up this beer and probably go home and I don't know, get some sleep. Tomorrow I have to write scripts for the ad filming on Saturday.
Yeah. So probably
And gonna have to fucking cover myself and I'm gonna bathe in the
aloe vera.
I don't know, we have some
You know?
fucking we have some medicine that like anti-itch stuff and reduces the swelling, but whatever. I'm gonna deal with all that when I get home. Love you guys. Thank you for joining, especially for so long, as long as this has been. This was a really, really fun stream. I'm glad you guys all had fun too. We might do things like this more often. I'm trying different things with the live streams because after like 68 lessons in a row or however many it was, like the formula gets a little bit tired. So I might do a little bit more of this where I do them live with a member from the community where we sit down and we just talk about shit. And we might do live dating consultations to like figure out, okay, where's the problem, what's going on here. We might do live Q&As like this, like where Manga was able to ask me like whatever questions came to his mind. How can I help him directly?
Next time we'll do a bedroom escalation demonstration.
I am not going into the bedroom with you. At least not on
What?
film.
Okay.
Dayjun stream with Sabi and you. But on a Thursday though, is because we do them on Thursdays, we might, I don't know, I might come down some weekend and we can film it and like pre-record it or something. Maybe we'll figure that out. But either way, we'll sort something out. But I think that this is actually really fun. It's like bringing in guys from the community.
Yeah, that's fun.
Because a lot of the guys in the Discord know you, but not all of them do. And now they all know you a little bit better, right? They know you. They know kind of where you are, what your strengths and weaknesses are,
Right.
So it kind of helps to humanize the thing. I imagine that there's a lot of frustration whenever guys watch me teach a thing, and they're like, right, but here's the problem, Jack, is that you always know the thing to say, and you're always doing the right thing.
Yeah.
Like, okay, but not everybody is there because, again, with all the failures in my past, right? That's what leads to the successes now.
Totally.
And so to see other guys who are working just as hard and who are finding success, but still having frustration, still having issues, is, I think, it helps to humanize the problem a little bit, helps to bring it back down to like, all right, we're all working on this together, aren't we?
Right.
So yeah, this sort of style is fun. Yeah, we might. I don't know. I'll talk to the kid about it, and I'll talk in the Discord about it. We'll see. Like maybe try to balance it out between lessons and community streams like this, and Jack in the Wild streams like I did for the last fucking 4 weeks. we were going pretty hard for a while there. So I haven't done a lesson from my home in over a month.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, every single one has just been out like this, doing it from the phone, which is unfortunate because I can't bring in the other guys, right? Because like you see like the phone AI on here, where like it doesn't. Technically speaking, if one of them were here, I could push the button and make it happen. But what a huge pain in the ass, and then we can't hear them.
Okay.
Because we're relying on the speaker from the phone, and I tried plugging in Bluetooth earphones, but it doesn't come through that way.
Right.
You'd wait. Stream from Daejeon would be fun. You'd be down to hop on as well. Yeah, you know what? Here's what we're probably gonna do, Jake, is with me and you, I'm gonna let's me and you are gonna talk and we're gonna see how things with the blind date girl go. And if that's finished or when it finishes or when it turns into a serious relationship or whatever, then we'll do a little bit of a post-mortem breakdown of like, right, here's what we tried, here's what worked, here's what didn't work, here's why we think it failed or succeeded, no matter what the thing is.
Right.
I think that
interesting.
that would be fun.
Yeah.
You'll be in Ulsan and Busan area. Yeah. Jake and Daejeon. This would be fun. If I were able to grab Jake and bring him down to Daejeon for a stream. Or, you know what we might do is like we've done plenty of community parties up here in Seoul. We might try to plan a weekend and be like, right, so last Saturday of August, everybody who possibly can, we're all moving to Daejeon and we're just gonna fucking take over. What's that area in the downtown area? Isn't it like Gunsandong or something like that? I don't fucking remember. It's been a long time. You'd be down? Yeah. Okay, good. Right. Well, and we'll figure it out. We'll talk in the Discord and I'll talk with you one-on-one because I'm not gonna air any of that shit on the live stream while you're still beating. Okay? Dunsan. I was pretty goddamn close considering I haven't partied there in like 11 years or something, right? However long it's been. So, with that said, guys, thanks for joining. Really, I'll catch you all next time. I'll talk to you in the Discord. Much love. Papa Jack out.